Salutations and welcome to the Manabar Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Rhodes, and I'm here with Matt Samarco.
Hey, how you doing?
And Dan Party. Well,
all right.
Today is Sunday,
What?
December 8th,
I don't.
2019.
This is a
No.
This is a Thursday podcast.
No, it is. Well, actually, it's been Wednesday lately, so you're wrong there, too. Nope, this one's on Sunday, so tonight, on Wednesday, I'm going to be posting last week's episode that YouTube recorded alone. And then on Sunday, this episode will go up. So it's kind of a little different. A little weird schedule.
That's weird.
You're weird.
Okay.
All right. Glad we got that established.
I'm so confused.
How you guys doing?
Great. Still. Doing great. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm a little... I would say confused would
All
be
right.
the good word.
Why are we confused?
Yeah, I'm confused.
What's wrong? Is it because of the days? You know we usually post on Thursdays, right?
No, we don't. We haven't for weeks.
Wednesdays.
Yes. I'm confused. Actually, I'm confused for the same reason you're confused.
Okay.
Because the Xbox One menu is complete shit.
It's garbage. I don't understand.
It's so horrible.
It was hard to give them money. Like, it was hard to find. I typed in Halo, and Halo, the Master Chief Collection didn't come up. So then I typed in Master, and it also didn't come up.
See, I typed in H, and the first thing that popped up was the Master Chief Collection, so I don't understand that, but...
Were you connected to the internet?
I was. I tried it multiple times. It showed me every other Halo game that's ever existed.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So for those of you, I don't know, did you guys talk about Black Friday last week?
Yeah, we touched on it.
Yep, a little bit.
All right, so I did you talk about what I got?
No, we did not.
Oh, I also bought an Xbox One. I caved, bought one. I did the $200. It's basically the same thing Matt did, except I got the Jedi Fallen Order bundle, and you got the what did you get? The Gears of War bundle.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I'm like, they just make it so hard to do anything. They make it hard to voice chat with microphones, which is something that they used to do very easily. You just plugged into the controller, any microphone really. The headset came with it. This one came with no headset. The menus are all over the place. Like the home screen is nothing but like random ads or things they want me to look at, as opposed to just like the PlayStation one's very basic. It's one bar of all of the recent apps you've opened. Nintendo even copied that one for good reason.
Yeah,
I never have any problem finding anything on the PlayStation menu.
Yeah, I can't find like my storage. I want to figure out how much each game is taking up. I can't figure out where my achievements are.
You have to hit the X button, then bumper over to settings, and go into settings, and then go into device, and then go into storage.
That's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the PlayStation's similarly weird too, but maybe we're just used to it.
Well, I just think there's less going on with the PlayStation. Well,
that's why I like it.
Yeah, that it doesn't get in your face with advertising until you really kind of search for it.
I think no matter what, there's going to be too many options because there's so many things the systems can do now. Yeah. Well, except for the Switch,
I like the simplicity of the Switch one.
Well, I love it too. I'm just saying it can't do as much, so there really is there's only two themes you can have still, just black and white.
I do wish that you'd be able to take pictures.
It should just have like a tab that says profile, one that says games, one that says like account, and one that says like, I don't know, something else.
I wanted to I hit the X button, it opens up that sub menu to the side, and I did this like 4 or 5 times where I just wanted to party chat with someone. So I went over to chat, and that was like to actually type out a fucking message, like me actually using the keyboard to type out a message to someone. I'm like, what year is this? That's not what I wanted.
Well, they have that in PlayStation, to be fair. The PlayStation.
They do. But like, why is that like a primary thing up there? Like, just. And then instead I had to like, I don't know, do something else. I don't know. I'm enjoying playing Halo again.
Yeah? Which ones are you playing? The first one?
No, I started the first one, Combat Evolved, they did that anniversary one. It's the Master Chief Collection. I got the whole spend $1 a month for 3 months. You get Game Pass for 3 months.
Yeah, they have a deal going on. You spend $1 and it's 3 months of their Game Pass Ultimate, which comes with Xbox Live. Yeah. And their like whole slew of games that are free. And
that's been awesome.
Nice.
Like reliving Halo has been fun. I'm just having a blast reliving those moments. But the Xbox. Oh, and here's the other thing.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna complain about Xbox more.
Friggin' Phil Spencer sucks.
So wanted to transfer my saves from the 360 to the Xbox One. Now, Dan told me there was probably a way I could just transfer it to like a flash drive or hard drive or something like that, and just like maybe like pop it in. I didn't even think of that. So what I did, because I already had it, I put all my saves in the cloud, which I had to do individually. Couldn't just do them all at once.
That's frustrating.
And then they don't automatically transfer to the Xbox One. What you have to do is put in a 360 disc, wait an hour for it to download or install or whatever it's doing. And then when you go into the game, it will download your save files from the cloud. But God forbid, between me having Xbox Live and me not having Xbox Live, I didn't put all of my game discs into the Xbone. Are they gone? I don't know. There's no Xbox 360. I could go right into the cloud storage. This one I can't. I don't get it.
That's a shame. Yeah,
it might have been because they weren't initially making this backwards compatible. So
yeah, it seems to be like there's some quirks with the backwards compatibility, because I had a similar issue with when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIII. It's like when you start it up, it's like pick a storage device, and you would think there'd be like, oh, here's your 1 terabyte hard drive, and then there's the cloud, but it only has like this 1.9 gigs of the cloud, so there's no like option to save it on your hard drive.
Wait, is this on the Xbone or the 360?
The Xbox One S.
See, I don't even have the cloud. Doesn't come up for me.
Yeah, mine comes up, and I don't even know where my games are going, if they're saving onto the cloud or if they're saving onto the system.
When you go to your storage, it actually has the cloud there? Because that was the issue I was having, is the cloud's not there. Like, I can't access it, but it'll randomly download from it.
I can't get to a general storage, but when I turn on Final Fantasy XIII, it says, like, how do you want to save this? And it's, like, only gives me the option of the cloud. So I don't know if that's another quirk where, like, 360 games aren't compatible with the Xbox One hard drive, so you can't even save there, which seems
so no matter
weird
what,
to me.
You can only use those save files if you have Xbox Live. Because that's
I
bullshit.
I don't think they would do that.
You know what? I'm going to I'm going to do a test tonight. I'm gonna bring this back up next week.
Yeah, we are providing no information to the listeners. We're very confused. We don't know what we're talking. We sound like old men that don't know anything about video games.
I put Red Dead Redemption in yesterday. I booted up my old save for Red Dead Redemption, so it's on there. I was playing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook my Xbone from the internet, and then I'm going to see if I can pop in the disc and play my save file. That'll be like the one true. That's it. That's the definitive answer. If I can't, fuck you, Xbox. That's the reason I got one, was to play my 360 games on you and some exclusives. And if I can't do that, if I can't play my save files offline without Xbox Live, there's no point in me keeping it. I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Whoa.
But Dan, you haven't always had Xbox Live. You could play your save files for 360 games on the Xbox, right?
I'm sure
that's why I don't really think it's an issue, because I'm almost
getting really heated here. I'm sorry.
Well, see, this is how I feel about Ghost Recon and requiring constant online connection or an online thing.
But possibly not for long.
Yes,
Ghost Recon's already dead.
As there were one of many
Would
complaints.
you say it's already dead?
Yeah, stop kicking it.
Well, that's
the Simpsons joke. Yeah. It's already dead.
But so Ghost Recon, because of their terrible, terrible sales, decided to come out with a survey for the fans to...
Ubisoft, you mean?
Yeah, Ubisoft. What did I say?
You said Ghost Recon as if like there was a team
yes, Ubisoft, like the head of the company or the maker or the developer for Ghost Recon decided, let's do a survey and let's see what people hate the most.
So was this Ubisoft directly, or was it like one of their subsidiaries?
No, it was Ubisoft directly.
Oh, okay, all right.
So this was a big deal. And I don't know what the final count was for like votes. But so they did the survey, and then the results just came in, and there was like 3 tiers of top things that were wanted. I don't know how the the math works on this, because you know what? You could select multiple things, so that's how it worked. So it said
when you selected multiple things, did it like put it in order of like, you know, what do you think is the most urgent, or did it just take like the tally?
I don't know, because
total.
Two of them said like, oh hey, 50%. Yeah, let me see if I can find the.
Wasn't there something where like Ubisoft completely ignored the internet thing, or like that was the portion of it that they're like no comment?
Well, so here. Oh, okay, this makes a little bit more sense, even though it still mathematically doesn't figure out. Anyway, so they did the test, and the most requested changes or fixes. The top one was that people wanted AI teammates to be joined in like you could in Wildlands. which was kind of a shock considering that Ghost Recon has always been a team-oriented like game where, hey, let's you always command a squad of people.
Is this like because people were having issues matching up? Like, was there not
No,
enough
I just
people?
think the fact is they wanted to play it on their own without always 4 people.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Playing with strangers can be stressful because
Yeah,
they can just leave all of a sudden, or like just do
they
their
don't
own
play
thing,
your
or
style,
just,
and
like,
that's the exact reason
I
why.
just want to play.
Commit suicide over and over again for
Yeah,
no
or
reason.
just especially with a game like this where it requires you to be like sneaky or whatever, and if one person ruins it, that's it.
Yeah, you're trying to like line up all your shots, and then there's a Leroy just like running in.
Yeah, so that's not what everyone wants. So some people want to be able to, play the way they want to, and it's much easier not having to get into a group and do that. So AI teammates was the number one requested at 50% plus requested this. Then 35% of players, I guess this is all grouped as one, but it's remove like gear scores. That was something that was like in the division. Basically, a gear score automatically tells you like, hey, this weapon is better than this one. So it's kind of like what they did in Borderlands. You know how they gave it like a score, and it was like, oh, this gun is better.
Why would they want that removed?
Because it is kind of.
Because I liked that in Borderlands.
Yeah, I liked that in Borderlands, except they weren't very accurate. Like,
Yeah,
it
see,
was,
that's
I never
the thing.
really followed them because it never really gave me a good sense of which was stronger or better because the
Yeah.
stats were so different.
So
But if they,
I'm wondering if that's what it meant, because the gear score could be great, but if the gun doesn't match how you play, then it's not great for you. So it could be confusing for some people. But the big problem was tiered loot. That's like the grind fest part of it. I guess next with that was AI enemy AI improvements. I guess they were really dumb as the bag of friggin' rocks, and then sell all weapon gear at once. I guess they probably
That's just like a
that's
quality
that's
of
like
life
a quality
thing.
of life
Yeah.
thing. And then the next biggest thing on the list, that 30% plus, was remove online requirements.
Okay, so there was the first one you named, and then this one's the third one down. Everything else you said was all that same chunk in the middle, that 35%.
Yes, all the 35% was these little things, and then the next on the list was remove online requirements, which I think is fantastic. That I wasn't the only one that thought this was a big problem for this game. I understand, like I said, I don't hate certain games that want to be multiplayer if it calls for it. Call of Duty multiplayer obviously calls for it. It's multiplayer. It requires you to play against other players. Like maybe, if they later want to do offline bots, sure. But that game is meant to be played against other players. I get it. There's no way around that. This game was a story-driven series that had you command a group of people, through the story, and then, that was it. That type of thing. And then they added some multiplayer with Wildlands, and then they started getting ridiculous like they always do, like Ubisoft always does with monetary friggin' things. So I'm excited to see that, again, that it was up there as the top requested thing, because I saw a lot of things on there, and I'm like, oh, crap, I don't know if online is even going to be remotely close to the top, and it was.
are you happy Breakpoint failed and those developers got laid off? I made that up. They didn't get laid off.
Okay. I was going to say, I highly doubt that they got laid off. I bet they just...
If anything, they're getting paid
lost their
hopefully getting paid
bonuses.
overtime because the game sucks and they need to work harder.
So, it not by probably their choice. Again, a lot of these
No.
guys are under a strict schedule of...
No.
Hey,
It's
we need this done by
never-
Tuesday, so...
It's a trickle down effect. It's the guys up top saying we need this to happen. I don't care how you make it happen, and then
Yeah. So, but I was just excited to see it, and that that possibly Ubisoft is listening, and maybe down the road, if this game becomes cheap and it becomes offline, then yes, I will take a peek at it, as I really enjoyed Wildlands. So we'll see, but I mean, yay, I'm not the only one. So I figured there's other people out there that don't love the fact of a constant online connection for a single player game. Again, if you're playing multiplayer, I understand, but just a single player, it's not worth it, especially when sometimes my Wi-Fi where I am is just spotty.
kind of like with Fallout 76, just let people choose
Yeah, it's
if
just
they want.
I understand and they keep going back, or a lot of people keep saying about like, oh well, constant online allows you to switch between like PvE and PvP really quickly. It's like, can't you just do that anyway? Like, why does it matter if you're connected or not? Just don't boot me out of the game when it's not connected. Even Death Stranding does that, where and that game relies, I feel, a lot more on online components than Ghost Recon would. And yet that game, when it goes offline, it still is able to save, like if somebody's vehicle is in front of you or you're in it, it saves those things. But yet a game like this that doesn't really need a multiplayer component in the single player has it. So
Matt, you out of the three of us, you're the only one who's actually. You haven't played the game, right?
No, I have not played.
So Matt, you actually
Wildlands.
played the game. You played enough of it just not to get it outright. So
Yes.
what would you say would be the one thing out of everything? Because it seems like 50% of the people said have me play with AI as opposed to people. Would you be in that category? You think that's the most important thing that the game has?
No, not really. I mean, when I was playing it solo. Like I was online and there was other people like in the hub area. Like I didn't really see any other people when I was out about doing like the early missions. So I'm not
Was
sure.
it an open world game?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Like if I changed something, it would be like the general direction of the game, like the general, I don't want to say tutorial, but just the fact that they kind of start you off with this mission and they don't really tell you how to get better weapons. They don't really tell you how to get better items. The inventory and UI is like a complete cluster F and like a mess. And like I would go into the menu trying to figure stuff out and then like just back out of it because it was like, they have like this screen with, okay, here's these schematics that you can find to build guns, and then here's intel files on characters that you can kind of search for, and maybe they'll give you like a bonus to one of your weapons or something, and then here's the main mission, and here's some side missions, and like these ones are locked, and you don't know how to get to them. It's just I had no idea what to do most of the time, so I just started doing like what I thought was the main story missions, but the other thing was that it was just like the first mission was way too difficult for me, which I don't know if that was just a problem with their like difficulty scaling, or maybe I was supposed to be with 3 other people and it was scaled for 4 players, and because there was just one of me fighting what seemed like a ridiculous amount of guys for like a very early level mission, just got frustrating after I died like 4 or 5 times. Like I'm not amazing at video games, but I shouldn't be dying at the first video.
Do you think that there was
mission
that was their way of
many
kind of
times.
forcing the online co-op component?
It might, and that might be another issue where like I didn't understand. They didn't really telegraph how to like join up with other people well, or like how to get that going.
Was this the full game or like the beta?
This was the beta, the alpha and the beta I played in. So you would think with the beta people would be playing and they would have that multiplayer stuff set up. I did see again people in the hub area like getting missions, but there was no. I'm sure there was a way for me to like join a game, but I just wanted to play, so I was just trying to get through stuff, play through as much as I can, and I kept hitting these like frustration walls that made me not want to play the game anymore. So that's about it. I didn't really mind the online stuff, but that's because we have good internet here, so it's not a big deal.
Depends.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't.
Matt didn't know really how to answer that.
It's not like at any point where I was like, oh, we don't have internet connection, so I can't play. I was logged in fine.
Our internet is it 75 or 150 right now? Megabits per second. I think it's 150 now.
I think so, yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 75.
I think it might be 100, but it's good enough. So, I mean, I've never had an issue with World of Warcraft. That needs a constant connection for hours at a time.
You have it wired, though, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
I have my PlayStation is wired as well.
Yeah, I switched my PlayStation from wired to wireless and switched it over to my Xbox because I had to download so many everythings, and I did notice that the download speeds definitely it dips without the Ethernet cable, but I did not notice any issues with online play with Wi-Fi, which was good. Actually, Dan, you've been using Wi-Fi the entire time. Did you notice anything with the online connectivity through online games?
Through like Call of Duty, every now and then it just kind of like when I'm in the menu, it just boots me out for a second. I don't know if that's the game.
I think that happens with me too, even with a wired connection, though.
No real latency issues or anything like that. That's why I'm always afraid to not. I'm always using wired when I'm online because
I want wired, but where I have my system, I have to run a wire down there, and I can't fit it where it is.
The dongle at the end of the Ethernet cable will literally not fit through the hole, so he would have to cut that off and splice the Ethernet cable.
And if anybody knows how to do that,
I'm not an electrician, so I can't really help.
Yeah, so at that point, I
get a coat hanger.
Well, you have to do that to push it through. But so I have to deal with my download speeds. And, if my wife is on, Hulu and, she's on her phone and, usually I'm looking at my phone every now and then when I'm on my, when I'm taking a break or something. Everything's kind of taking a hit, even though I have 300 megabytes. But downstairs, I get usually an average of 25 to 15 to 25 megabytes per second, which is terrible when you're paying for 300.
Yeah, that's terrible if you're playing for 300. I was gonna say that should be enough. Like that's like a bare minimum enough to play games, I would say.
Yeah.
But
I should be getting 50, 60, 70. I can change to the 5 gigahertz or whatever the hell it is. That one downloads faster, but the connection is less stable. So it's either way. Like I said, it's just kind of a kick in the ass, and I want it to be wired, but at the moment I can't do that. And but I also just don't like the fact that they basically control the game. So if they want to take it down for a service update, that's it. And sometimes I play at weird times. On a weekend, I might play till 2 a.m. in the morning, and that could be their update time, and it's just kind of frustrating.
Talking about Call of Duty.
No, anything, any game in general that I want to play. You know what? Fuck, I want to play
this.
this.
I mean, like with World of Warcraft, they typically do them like Tuesday morning at like 2 a.m. Eastern time or whatever. Yeah. So it doesn't typically hit most people. But yeah, that would be frustrating if you had weird hours.
But World of Warcraft, I see that as a multiplayer game. I just don't see Ghost Recon at all as a multiplayer. Like I see it like if you want to do co-op. But the idea is that you're stranded on an island. We got to get off this rant because I'm just going to go nuts again.
I was about to say that I was a little annoyed that at 8 o'clock on a Monday there was what was yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday. 8 o'clock on a Tuesday there was a 15 gig Call of Duty update out of nowhere. It had the battle pass and everything finally added to it, but it's like that was it's fine. It's not like it's not going to be there the next day. It was just annoying because I'm like, why is there this 15 gig update like at prime time playing
that's
on a
lot
Tuesday?
Of gigs for like just adding. I would imagine they add like whole maps and stuff because like
not that I saw.
You don't need 15 gigs to add a battle pass.
Yeah, like I don't really know what they added, but like if you think about it, it was one of the biggest install files to begin with. I don't know if maybe it's just like a lot of layering with the polygons or whatever. I don't really know what the terms to use are.
I mean, it sounds like it's like just redundant. I can't imagine there was 15 gigs of new content.
Yeah, because it was a huge install file to begin with when you first installed the game. I beat Link's Awakening.
Oh, nice.
I brought 2 games. Yes, I brought 3 games with me to Florida when I went. One of them was Link's Awakening. I brought Untitled Goose Game with me, and I borrowed Octopath Traveler from you, Matt, a game that I've already played a little bit of, and I didn't touch 2 of them. I just kept having too much fun with Zelda, and I have 49 out of the 50 shells.
Oh my God, are you still playing it after beating it?
A little bit.
That's the thing.
I stopped.
I didn't even try to get the shells because they're so like arbitrarily around the world.
Well, eventually you get a magnet. That
that
vibrates.
Would help. You still got to search in the general area of everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm missing 1 shell and I'm missing either 6 heart pieces or 2 heart pieces, and I missed a full heart in a dungeon somewhere. Because honestly, I'm scouring this map. I have no idea where I could have possibly lost 6 heart pieces.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot.
But I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
You didn't do the color dungeon yet, did you?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty lame.
Yeah, it's small. I mean, it's a little addition they made when they released it on Game Boy Color.
I guess like it was just we talked about this. It was just some like add-on for the Game Boy Color. I'm just saying like in the sense of like with this game, it was just like, oh, these are really easy puzzles. I didn't really have to do anything. I did wait until after I beat the game to do it because I didn't want to make it too easy. I didn't use any of the hints either. Like they like the telephones and the owls. I didn't use any of that crap.
Oh,
yeah, from what I saw, they were not helpful hints.
Every now and then, I just I lose track because I don't play it like straight through. So that is great for like
what were they doing 7 days ago?
Kind of like
which is true. Yeah,
so it's great for that. Like the old Resident Evil games were tough too because it was like crap. What key was I looking for?
Well, not to mention they give you such arbitrary clues like, oh, you had to go find a waterfall or something. It's like, are you gonna remember that 5 days from now?
No.
Yeah,
I'm
Dan's not.
I'm stuck. Just
I already know where Dan needs to go.
Yep, I'm stuck.
Dan told me exactly where he is. I'm like, oh, I know exactly where you need to go, but he told me not to tell him, so I'm not.
I like figuring it out on my own.
Which I'm the same way.
Which I'll tell you, from doing this, I have a ton of money because I'm running through and
the rubies.
Yeah, I just keep running through, and I have like $1,000.
Like, is someone paying you to play Zelda?
No, a ton of money.
You can burn that money pretty fast, though. Get like a bow and arrow at the shop.
I already bought the bow and arrow, which was fucking
Heart
expensive.
piece or whatever.
Because I thought the bow and arrow was something to finish something, so I was like, "Oh right, I got 1,000." So I bought that right away, and then I tried it. It was one of the first dungeons where you walk to the right, and it's like this orb, and it just blows wind at you.
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh, I bet I shoot it with the arrow," and it was like,
You could just hit it with your sword.
well, you can't get to it until you do the rush thing, until you get the rush feat.
Oh, yeah.
So, but at first I was like, "Oh, I wonder if I pop it with the bow." And then I realized you throw a pot at the damn friggin' thing.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
bow,
what
you
the-
actually don't necessarily... You only need the bow once in the entire game, and it's not until a later dungeon.
Oh well, it's great against those.
Well, it's great against a lot of things.
It's great against those knights that are like frozen, and then when you touch them, they're one-shot kill. Plus, you get,
with the
plus
arrow.
you get the
You get an
arrow back. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I love those too because that was a callback to the original one. That when you touch them from the top, they would move around.
They've been in a lot of games, those guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're called.
But I recall from the first one that those guys always hid like stairwells, like secret stairwells. So I was like touching all of them, like, come on. Same thing with the ghost section. That was a mimic of what they did in the graveyard from the very first one. You could do the same thing. So, I've been enjoying the heck out of it, even though I'm stuck.
You won't be stuck for long.
I probably won't, but
How do you juggle all these games? That sounds so frustrating.
And
I
I just
hate playing like more than one game at a time. That's why I try to blow.
Oh, I
through
love it.
them.
I need different types. I need a first person.
Don't you want to finish them?
I do, but I like progressing. Like I come home and I change with the.
I like to put them away and be like, I finished. I don't need to go back to this for a while.
I loved because I don't like to burn through a game too quick. Like Death Stranding, I'm enjoying the hell out of it so much, and still, according to Matt, to this day, again, I've been playing like every day for like 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm still, according to Matt, not very far, which again makes me even more excited because I keep getting all this equipment and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool.
So I have it bad because I'm a mixture of the two of you. I do what Dan does, where I keep switching between a lot of games, but I have Matt's anxiety about it. So I'm
Just
switching
like depressed
between
and angry
games
all the time.
Yes, it's like every time
Frustrated.
I turn on Call of Duty, I'm like, oh my God, I started Outer World and Link's Awakening. And what about the Ghost game?
I
started the Ghost game.
those games, yeah.
I mean,
But Call of Duty is so much
There's
fun.
no finishing
Call of Duty is a frig ton of fun. That's why every now and then when you text me, I'm like, I'm sorry, Andy. I need to get a little bit.
You
of,
only did that once.
No, but I've been trying to stay true because I do enjoy the heck out of it. And the battle pass is kind of a little addicting. Like, oh, just now because now they're giving
that
a
came
little.
out this week, right?
Yes.
I
And
haven't even really
did you
looked
guys
at
pay
it.
for the like premium one, or just you doing the basic one? That's still good.
No, it's kind of sad because I think I initially would have
You had
I think to be in the happening, I think I would have been like, yeah. And I think now it's like, I have so much gear and I get so much stuff. They've been very good with giving you like camouflages and.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they waited a month or whatever to get.
Well, I'm wondering if they
Battle
did that
Pass
for the
out.
reviews and junk. Because you can buy.
like Black Ops 4 did.
But I'm the same way as you, where like I get excited about a game, I'll play it maybe a ton the first month, and then I'll fall off of it. But if there was a battle pass that first day,
I would
bet
have.
you dollars donuts, I would have put $10 down and said I'm going to do this.
I probably would have too. So, but the fact.
Did you say bet me 1,000 donuts?
$1 to donuts. That's a phrase.
Dollars to
You
donuts.
never heard of that?
That's a phrase which I don't understand, but I understand
Oh
where
God,
people
Andy,
use it.
you have homework.
I don't
I've
understand
never heard
what it
someone
comes
say
from.
that in my life.
Really, dollars to donuts?
Must be a Boston thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
I've heard that. You're not crazy.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
it's
two.
definitely a saying, but I can't work back what it actually means.
Selling like hotcakes.
Except that I know when to say it.
That's the second thing I've heard that I think is just clearly an Eastern Mass phrasing, unless one of my Western Mass friends
I was gonna
listening.
say, it's not like you're from California. You live like
but
you live 2 hours. You grew up 2 hours away from us.
Western Mass is a different animal. We talk differently. We act differently. I remember the first time, and actually it was Dan who first alluded me to it, but I've seen other people do it, where they'll use the word bullshit as like a almost a verb, I guess. Like, oh, that guy is bullshit, and I'm like, well, that's a mean thing to say about him. Like, to me, it's like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, this thing is bullshit, but for a person to be bullshit, like
They're mad,
I
yeah.
had never heard that in my life until I came at. Well, I mean, you came to me, but. You came to Westfield and said it, but like Eastern Mass people, I've heard a lot of Eastern Mass people say that. I never heard that once growing up in Western Mass.
That's funny.
So dollars to donuts, never heard of it.
Okay. Well,
But
Matt,
I would take.
Well,
the
it means
donut.
I'm sure about it.
Okay. What are you sure about?
That I would have bought the battle pass had I bought Call of Duty day one and it was available day one.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere too. Like they changed like the main menu, and it's a neat like update.
How so?
Well, it just even little things like the main menu has changed, and then like the sub menus have changed. So it used to be, because there's like 4 different things now. There's main campaign, multiplayer, co-op, and store. And originally, like they had like a little image in the background, like moving or whatever. It was just like a video.
There's like a 4th option now too,
Store.
isn't there? Oh,
Yeah, now it's a store. Which immediately made me think like, oh crap, here comes the reviewers coming back and attacking Call of Duty. But no, I guess it doesn't look egregious. You can't buy anything individually. I think it's just like, now that I have so much equipment. I have so many little pieces. The barracks that allows you to do different challenges depending on what you want to do. And Andy was friggin' hooked on
I don't want to talk about
hacking claymore mines. For like 17 games. He'd be like, I need 1 to go. And he'd be like,
I want to look at another.
and of course,
again.
I would see a mine, and my immediate thing would be to shoot it because I get points. And Andy would be like running over to it, and I'd shoot it, and he'd be like, Dan, no, I was gonna hack it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. Or he'd kill someone and then go to hack it, but because when he dies, his mine disappears. So he'd be
After
like,
a certain
no.
amount of time.
So
There's no are there like daily quests or anything like that? Are they like what are they? Like, do you have any examples? Because
to get
pretty
25
easy.
kills with 1 attachment, or
Even just
use your UAV 20 times.
play 3 matches using this perk.
okay, yeah, that's not too
It's,
bad.
it's
'cause
typical, like, hey,
I kind of got annoyed at the Apex ones that were like, do this very specific
no,
thing.
these are like one
were
of them is
very
capture.
specific.
Well, there's so many, like, and they get you depending on the rarity of the tier, you get like a better thing. So like some of them are like epic, some of them are, but they make you do more different challenges. So you'll have to do 7 challenges. But when you and they're usually pretty broad. One of them will force you to play like capture the flag. One of them will, and then like one of them you have to carry the flag. One of them you have to. It's neat.
The daily
always,
challenges were really easy. The more intricate ones where it's like multiple objectives get pretty hard, but you get better loot for it.
Yeah. So you'll get like something that's unlockable.
So how many do they have each day?
Say again?
Sorry, how many do they have
I
each
think it's
day?
3 daily challenges.
Just 3?
3 daily challenges, but then on top of that, they're adding challenges every day. The only thing that
Just
I
like
wish you could
general
do,
challenges for your
kind of
account?
like how Borderlands did it, is there was always, or I shouldn't say, I don't know if Borderlands did it in 3, but they did it in 2, where there was so many different things that you were doing, like killing X amount of like racks or something. If you killed like 100, you got a bonus badass point or whatever. And then if you hit a rack with a vehicle, you got this. There was so many that you were constantly leveling or getting like badass like mini score like level ups. This one you have to choose one and stick with it. So like
you can switch back and forth between them, but
Well,
you
you
can't have
switch back and
multiple
forth.
running at the same time. But it doesn't look like they go. They're not like weekly or anything. They don't go away. They just kind of stack.
Well, they don't
So,
go
like, you can
away,
always- you can always
but
go
every
back
now
to
and then
them.
I
Oh, that's
forget to
nice.
change them. I'll be like, you know what? I ended up doing Gun Game or something, and I realized there was one for Gun Game, and I was like, crap.
Now Gun Game is gone.
Yeah, now Gun Game is gone. But it was great because they had Gun Game, which is basically you start out with a pistol. Andy, sorry, I know you hated the pistol.
Just like
Andy
one or
didn't
2
like-
of them. I just didn't like getting to the
I-
end
I-
of the match and still having the first weapon.
It is. So basically, the gun game works as it starts you out with a pretty crappy weapon, and every time you get a kill with that weapon, you upgrade to the next one. So Andy's gripe is correct, where everyone starts out with a pistol, and if you end up getting killed 2-3 times in a
starting
row,
out with bullshit.
everyone else already
Yeah, it
has.
just seems like it was like if you're better, you would just start snowballing into better chance of winning too.
Yes,
Just every
exactly.
kill.
So, which I towards the end they start to make it ridiculous. They start to make it harder again, but I still feel like they need to get the pistol away at the beginning and just make it something like a Uzi or something, so it's not ridiculous, and then kind of break it up. But initially they start you
I
with
almost
a
feel like it
pistol.
would make more sense to go the other direction, where you get a really good gun to start with, and
Yeah, and it gets harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's what I was thinking. You put the way they do it is just kind of like a submachine gun, a pistol,
It's
assault
kind of
rifle.
random, actually.
Yeah, it is pretty random. It's never the same 20 or is it 19 weapons in a row, except always the last 2 are some type of handgun. Typically, it's like a powerful one with a scope or something, and then you have to get the last kill with a throwing knife.
Oh Jesus!
So it's not as hard as you think, especially when there's like 5 or like 15 different people like looking not even your general direction. So But
did you get a sense of how long the battle pass is? Is it 3 months, 9 days? It's kind of the typical.
Oh, I didn't even look.
I didn't even look.
I didn't care because I paid $60 for the game already, and I don't know. Like it's this really weird thing where they did everything I wanted them to do, but I paid them the money for that. I didn't need them to add anything, and I don't know. Apex, it was a little different because it was a free game.
Yeah.
And I felt obligated. I don't feel obligated, and nor do I want to, especially now that now I suddenly have the holy grail of online multiplayer back, which is Halo. So
and Call of Duty. They're both kind of
I'll never get anything done again.
But it's actually kind of funny now that I think about it. Call of Duty in this version, I feel like did so much right. They gave, every time you're using a gun, you're getting a level up. You're getting, you're either getting a camouflage for it or you're getting an attachment for it. There's 90 different levels for each weapon, about something like that.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a certain point, you're really just unlocking camouflages.
Yeah, which is still neat because some of them are still really neat. And obviously, the more you work at them, you feel, accomplished that you've unlocked them. But there's
some of the people online are getting a little ridiculous. But any multiplayer game, you're gonna have people that
you're always gonna find people that find ways
the loopholes and the cracks in the surface. Yeah. If I use this gun in this way, I'm gonna always get a whatever. It's nowhere near as egregious as it was in the last Call of Duty that I played when I said I was never gonna play a Call of Duty, and which was World War II. Because those were fucking.
It was bad.
Those were World War II sniper rifles. You cannot tell me that you can shoot something that quickly.
No, it was definitely frustrating. But because they did so much right, I almost don't need the battle pass, which is kind of ironic. Good. But it's good and it's bad because you want them to make money off this type of thing in a way. They
already made $60.
Well, they made $60, yes, but obviously, if they're going to continue to support it, you want it to do well. And I know some people will go nuts and buy everything, the Battle Pass or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, there's some people that play just that's their game, Call of Duty, every year, and it's
but you don't want the opposite. You don't want a game that is so restrictive. Like I'm thinking, Evolve was one of those where it started so bare bones, and you paid $60, and then they added $3 for this, $3 for that. That's the extreme right part of it, and then there's this extreme left where they give you so much that sometimes that's enough, and then you don't even need the rest of the stuff. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. They can end up giving you so much content that, hey, you know what?
Good.
I don't. Well, it is. It's great, and it is a well-deserved.
I'm content with content.
Yeah, it is a good amount. I mean, I wouldn't mind a level every now and then, but that's what they're doing. Apparently,
I was surprised there was no new maps.
Yeah, even I was surprised if they didn't make it just maybe a different time of day for. I know they do night, but that can be tough because obviously not everyone wants to put the night vision on their weapon. But even if they do it dusk or dawn or something,
it's not even on your weapon. It's like a mask you can take on and off. It just kind of makes it a little hard to see everything.
Well, not only that, every weapon has to have the laser. Yeah. So if you're using something with a sniper scope, that's not going to be helpful because you're just going to aim and use the laser.
So I noticed in the battle pass, it looked like over time, even with the free battle pass, kind of like what they did in all the other battle royales, you get free currency along the way.
Yeah, I think they call it COD points.
Do you procreate enough COD points by the end to just buy a battle pass next time? Do you know?
I haven't looked at it, but I would assume that's what they're gearing for. But I mean, the way it was going, I mean, both of us were doing well, and I didn't seem like I was moving up that ladder pretty well.
It was a snail's pace.
Yeah, and it was pretty slow.
Especially with all the games that are going to be coming out. I mean, I just got an email today that on January 22nd, I'm being officially charged for my probably overpriced Final Fantasy VII Collector's Edition.
Nice.
Things are coming. Things are on the way.
Is that March?
Yeah.
March.
Okay.
Early March.
But I think they definitely want to get people's money sooner than later to make sure that people are actually committed to getting it before they make a bunch or something. I don't know.
Where did you pre-order from?
Square Enix store.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't have to drop the whole thing immediately.
No, usually with pre-orders, like from my experience with, I mean, I guess because it's not a major retailer, you would think that they might want me to, but no, with Best Buy and Amazon and GameStop, I've never had to pay full price or even.
That's neat.
I didn't even have to put money down.
That changes. Oh, okay, that changes things because GameStop online, you always had to drop the entire amount.
Really?
Which sucks, and that took me away. Like Doom Eternal Edition. Which I'm still seeing is up for pre-order, so I was like, I have a funny feeling that one's going to be in clearance at some point. So I'll wait.
What they did is they do the same thing Amazon does, where Amazon will ping your credit card for the full amount, but then that transaction will disappear. But then, like with Amazon, the day the game's released, that full amount comes out of your credit card. This one, it's charging. They emailed me. They're like, hey, we're charging you January 22nd for this, so I can plan ahead or whatever for that. But
okay. Yeah, no, because that deterred me from. Because there was some games that GameStop wasn't pre-orderable, but yet Amazon had it, and I was like, I don't want to pay full price. I just want to put down the $5 or $25, and I'll pay for it. If I'm still really, really interested, like I think CD Projekt Red, I might downgrade to the special edition because I don't know.
Andy, are you concerned about not getting Final Fantasy VII on day one? That would be tearing me up inside. Or is it was me just saying that ruined you?
Wait, why can you not get a day one?
Because it's like this vague Square Enix store from like, who knows from where they're shipping this game and statue from.
But I thought they...
Honest to God, Matt, could not give a good goddamn if I play it a Thursday or a Friday.
Really?
Like, yeah, I'm excited to play it, but
what if it's like the weekend after?
Where the fuck's it going? It's not like it's disappearing if I don't
we're gonna
play
beat
it
it.
night.
You're a very different person than I am.
We're gonna beat it and we're gonna ruin it for
No.
you.
Just like in general, everyone's always like, Dan's ordered from multiple stores just to play it night one. It's like, yeah, Thursday night right before I have to wake up early for work. Yeah, I really want that 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad. But with a statue, what if it's? I mean, it comes out on a Tuesday, so it probably won't take the whole weekend. But
yeah, so I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure they'll give me some shipping information. I can plan around it. If I have to wait a few extra days, I have to wait a few extra days. It's not like my PlayStation's gonna, explode, or I
would be writing letters and like,
yeah,
I don't know. I just
posting somewhere.
I hate buying something and not getting like a physical thing.
Point
right
of
away.
Video games, especially when you're buying the physical edition, is you own it. It's yours. It's not a digital code that I'm afraid is just going to disappear or anything. So it's like, no, I never have a problem with that. I never really care. Half the time I pre-ordered games, I didn't go to the midnight releases. I just got it the next day.
Part of the fun, especially for a game like that, is just the conversation, though, like the week after conversation.
Who the fuck am I talking to?
You're talking to me. You're on a podcast.
Yeah,
You're on a
podcast.
very famous podcast.
Yeah.
You're on a very
we just got
good
sponsored.
podcast.
We're on a fun podcast. And no, we didn't get sponsored.
No, we didn't.
Brought to you by GamerGoo.
Oh god, now we're gonna get sued.
know,
We're gonna be
No,
making
it's
money.
like it's not like there's a bunch of people. Like I'm not really up on the I don't go on Reddit or anything. Like
Yeah, I would be so afraid of the internet.
Like yeah, there's friends I'm going to talk to.
Yeah,
about
but what are they
going
going to ruin? See, that's the difference.
Yeah,
that's
you played the game.
Death Stranding
No, but
is.
there's gonna be new stuff. There's gonna be like new
There's gonna be-
bosses and enemies.
there's gonna
like,
be
that's
new
gonna be
stuff, but
there could be a surprise in there.
There could be a surprise, but I mean, in the
What
end,
if Titus or fucking Squall's in there or something?
well, then they should be punched in the face because that's the wrong
Well,
game.
that's going to open up a whole
Like,
whoa,
maybe-
shared universe.
maybe
Final Fantasy shared universe. Are they finally doing that?
Maybe.
They already did that. Isn't that that PlayStation
Kingdom
game?
Hearts?
No, there's a game.
Oh, Dissidia.
No, there's another one. There was like
I don't know what
they
he's
were like
talking
cute,
about.
like little what do you call them?
Tactics.
No, there's an sorry. Well,
Crystal
it's like Final
Chronicles?
Fantasy
Crystal
like Worlds.
Chronicles.
No, Final Fantasy
Oh,
Worlds. It was that like
was that the
chibi-
one? It was the same.
It was a turn-based.
E3 where they announced the Final Fantasy
Yes,
VII remake
yes.
originally. It was the game before that.
Yes.
I didn't know that was shared between a lot of different Final Fantasies.
Yeah. You could play like you could get like games
I
in there.
have
and-
not thought about that game since that day. That was
I think it's
4
been on
years
my
ago.
PSN wish list for like 5 years.
Is it
where
good?
I've never played it. It doesn't. It got like middling reviews. It wasn't like a bad game, but it didn't. Whenever I watch the videos, it didn't actually look like something I would enjoy. But I was still intrigued.
Was it
because
like
was
a
Final Fantasy
tactics?
game.
Yeah, what was it
no,
even
not
called?
exactly.
I thought it was
World of
Final
Fantasy.
Oh, how clever!
It was a lot of like. It felt like it was a little bit too much Pokemon-y. Like you had to capture creatures and use them to fight guys.
That actually sounds fun.
And like, yeah.
Matt,
It did okay. Not great, but all right.
oh, it's strong according to Open Critic.
Yeah, so And I mean, it's definitely for the nostalgia part for people. They'll love it.
I'm not. Yeah.
But Cloud's adorable.
Yeah, no, I don't care about day one. Doesn't matter.
So, see that I'm with Death
me and Dan
Stranding.
are
Like
very
I
different
needed.
people.
Well, it depends on the game, but mostly if it's something I'm super like Greedfall, I was super excited for.
Now, all right.
Death Stranding.
I'm sorry. I just gotta. It's not that I'm not excited for the game. It's like I've been waiting for this for how long?
Well,
you saw me freak out when we watched that trailer live, the first Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. Matt heard me scream like a little schoolgirl.
It was very
during that
embarrassing.
PlayStation. It was amazing during that. What it was. Are they still doing those like PlayStation Direct things?
That was during E3. Yeah, the conference.
Yeah, no, the PlayStation, the monthly things like the video.
Oh, they're not. Well, they're not like monthly, but yeah.
What are they called? PlayStation.
Direct.
Are they called PlayStation?
No, I don't know.
No, it's
No,
Nintendo Direct.
State of Play.
State of Play.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
anyway,
what it
so it was during State of Play, and I squealed like a little schoolgirl when I finally saw new footage. So it's not like I'm not
the
like
second one, yeah.
uber excited, but it's just like there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to go out to a different retailer and buy a new version of it separately just to have it for, I shit you not, 2 extra hours because I have to go to bed and wake up for work. Unless I'm taking time off for the game. But if I'm taking time off for the game, that's when I need to know. Am I getting it day one? If I don't know, I just won't take the time off. But I probably will be taking the entirety of the following week off.
Yeah,
to play it.
I'm going to be taking that week off too, but I'm kind of scared to take it off because I still don't trust that it's like not going to get delayed or something and just ruin my vacation.
You think it's going to get delayed this soon, this close?
Really?
I don't know.
I mean, a bunch of other things have been.
Yeah, like Watch Dogs just got delayed.
Yeah, but I think
Doom got delayed like a month before it was going to come out.
Yeah, but I think Doom was a case of there's way too many superstars in that section. We're gonna back off. There was Star Wars. There was.
Oh, I didn't know what you meant by too many superstars in the section. I'm like, were there like
Shaq
a lot of? Well, like how many voice actors were in this game? Was Guillermo del Toro's likeness in this game too?
There was too many. Like potential Game of the Year like contenders that they were competing with. That I think it just kind of scared them away, and they're like, you know what? Let's. And not only that, they've had some pretty bad like what's it called? PR, recently. So it's like, hey, like might as well get this one right. So go out, even though they're putting their game in yet another potential pit of like strong games with Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII, and now
you never
Eternal,
know.
But at least those are more of the RPG people, rather than the first person shooter people. So that might be that they felt a little bit better. And I mean, I bet you a lot of people wanted to stay away from COD. COD was coming in with a huge
probably
swing,
a lot of the same people.
and I bet they sold, really, really well. I still haven't seen numbers on it, but I hope it sold well because the game was great. Yeah, I hope it sold really well because
I haven't actually looked into it.
The campaign was great. I know Death Stranding was like second on the list. Even in the first week, couldn't even touch Call of Duty. So.
Well, yeah, and I mean,
you
guys were saying that the midnight release was really bare.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I started towards the end. I started to see a lot of people come in. It was just like the initial typical like Borderlands. When I came in at 8:20, there was like 30 people, and then by the time people came in, it was probably about 50, 60. So
that's about how it was at my GameStop for both Borderlands and COD.
So
Call of Duty, COD was pretty busy. So
Dan, I wanted to ask you. So like me and you, unlike Andy, get very obsessed about. I mean, he does too. I guess I shouldn't say that, but we get very excited about games, and we could not wait the extra day.
Nope.
But you are a little different in that you don't mind waiting to finish the game. Like when I get a game, I get it. Like Death Stranding, I'm like, I want to play this. I want to beat it. I want to know the whole story before it gets ruined for me. But it seems like you're the opposite, where once you get it, you're like, okay, I'll just play a couple hours a day and I'll be good.
I feel like you have gotten excited about a lot of games, and then
like you don't.
It's like a flavor of the week, even though you.
Death Stranding, I am seriously.
Actually, no.
Have you ever gotten a really good piece of steak? Okay, what do you want to do?
Talking to
you want to savor it.
Okay.
You want to enjoy it, and. You're taking the week off.
But no one's gonna ruin your steak ending. The ending to your steak online.
No, but also the steak is never gonna expire. Like you can take your time with it. You can go as slow as you want. But
I'm so hungry. I just want to keep eating.
I do, but I've done that with so many games, and then I'm like, holy crap! I'm done. Like I did that with Resident Evil 2 where I just blew through it. Because initially I was like, I'm going to find everything in this game. And then I was just like, towards the end, I was like, I just want to beat it. I want to experience this stuff. And then when I beat it, I was like, oh, I beat it. Like, holy crap. So now at least I'm beating games and then I'm like, oh, I'm getting the Star Wars, like, you know, excitement.
Yeah, but so Andy kind of jokes at you about not finishing games, but I'm thinking is that actually true where you don't finish a lot of games because you're starting so many and you're spending your time with them and then kind of like, because when I don't play a game for a couple weeks, I start playing something else, I just forget it. It just like becomes on the ash heap of history, and I typically don't touch it again until like a year later, and then I'll start from the beginning again.
It's been 1 year and I haven't gone back to Red Dead 2 yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't understand how you can just like juggle those games, not play for a week, and then do you still finish those games, or do you feel like maybe you don't finish quite as many?
I have like the 2019, the ones I have to at least play so that I can, without a doubt, make a good judgment on these games. So I just started Devil May Cry 5, just to get my feet wet, try it. I know nothing really from the Devil May Cry series, but I played the first half an hour and I was like, okay, this is a really pretty game and this is pretty crazy also. I don't know. I need different types of games all at once. I want a first-person shooter, and then sometimes I'm not in the mood for a first-person shooter, and then sometimes I want a first-person shooter that's a little unrealistic. So Borderlands. So a realistic shooter, Call of Duty. Borderlands, I need a third-person shooter. So that was Gears of War. I whipped through to Gears of War, and now it's Death Stranding. So Death Stranding I am by no means whipping through. I am taking my time just because this is one of the very few games that I'm really, every time there's a cutscene, I'm just super excited. I'm questioning, like, oh my god, is this what, from that trailer that I've seen? I just got to the point where it was that trailer where you see the chubby guy with the BB and he looks down the tunnel. That was like one of my favorite trailers from Death Stranding, and that actually happened. So I was like, oh my god, this is that part, and it just got me super excited. So I haven't been this excited for a game in a very, very long time, probably since Metal Gear Solid 4.
And that's the point. I actually had a point in defense of Dan. He gets excited about a lot of games, but I will say all the games he's gotten uber excited for, like, cannot wait in any way, shape, or form to play this game. He's always played more than just like a day or two when he's like been that excited. Yeah, he goes to a lot of midnight releases to games, but like I'm thinking of like
that's ones more of where, like the happening type of thing. Yeah. Like I want to be in on the ground. And Gears of War 5, I pushed through it and I beat it, and it was good. Like I said, it was good. It made me. There's a lot of games that sometimes I will play it and then I will stop, because something wasn't gripping me. Like Crackdown 3 was fun, but it didn't hold.
Didn't you buy like 2 versions of that game or something? Didn't something happen?
So what happened? So what happened was there was some wedding situation where I wasn't going to be able to play it a certain time. Oh, right. I was going to be able to pick it up at GameStop, and then play it there, but I guess right. I wasn't going to. All right, this is coming back to me now.
You were panicking.
I was
live on the air.
I know. So Crackdown 3 GameStop pre-order was a pair of socks.
He needed those socks.
No, Crackdown 3 pre-order for Best Buy was a steelbook. So what I did was I didn't pre-order from GameStop. I pre-ordered it from Best Buy, and Best Buy was not doing a midnight launch for it, and I really wanted to play it that midnight.
That's the one where I don't agree, because I don't feel like Crackdown, I don't think you were that excited for Crackdown. Like, was it that warranted?
No, but I think I just wanted a third-person open-world shooter.
But you couldn't wait till the next day.
No, I don't know. I just was very excited to play.
You just ruined my whole point. I had a defense point about you, Dan, and you just...
I don't know when you have.
But I go to a lot of. You already said that I go to a lot of midnight releases. This was different because I also just wanted to play it like from day one, but I also just wanted the pre-order from Best Buy. So then when I bought it,
seems so silly to me to buy 2 copies just to play it that night when you're getting it the next day.
I didn't buy 2 copies in one night. I bought the second one just to get the steelbook because I was like, I'm not because I wanted to play it that night. And then the next day, I bought it, and then I waited like 3 or 4 days. Then I went back to return it and realized, oh crap, like the same guy is ringing me out. So I had to go to, I just took the GameStop receipt and I was like, I just returned it there. So I was like, screw it. So I basically got the
You were able to return it even though you opened it?
So, well, because GameStop just sells a copy of Crackdown, when I bought it from Best Buy, I had 2 receipts. So I took the sealed copy from Best Buy.
Yes.
And then I returned it back as a GameStop.
Didn't the sealed copy with Best Buy come in a steelbook, or did they give you
No,
both
the steelbook is separate.
That's weird.
So, yep. So,
Right.
well, a lot of games just kind of do that separately.
My point was, my important defense of you was the games that you will go that out of your way for and that excited for.
I wouldn't call it going out of my way. I just picked it up, and I was just like, oh, and it was a steelbook. So I'm a sucker for steelbooks. You know that.
Even for Final Fantasy VII, I'm not picking up an extra copy just to play it night one.
Well, with Xbox, you got to take what you can get. I mean, Crackdown's about as good as it gets for.
Oh yeah, that means it's one of the
Xbox-only game.
3 exclusives for
That
the thing.
is true.
I will definitely be getting FF7, whatever the earliest, because I have it ordered on. Actually, you know what? I have it ordered on Amazon right now, and I got a special deal where it was like 20% off. It was something crazy where I only paid like $42 or something. But I'm sure I'm going to end up just buying it at GameStop because it's going to be like 9 p.m. that night. I'll be able to play it.
Did you buy the special edition or just the regular? Standard.
Standard. I didn't see a lot in the special edition that I cared about. Like, wasn't it?
The steelbook was
it's just the
fantastic.
steelbook.
I
I'm
was
not a
like,
big
oh my god,
guy.
just for the steelbook alone with Sephiroth on it, I was like fucking getting it because I have that steelbook display thing, and I was like, that's definitely going up there at some point. So, but yeah, so if you get the standard one, then I don't have that is a really easy fix because then you just buy it from GameStop day one. When it comes in, you just return it. So, and it's the same product. You're not cheating them. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I might just cancel Amazon.
So,
just get it at GameStop. We'll see. Who cares?
I'm surprised
I'll
it
play
was just Crackdown 3. That's what surprises me. Like, out of all the games, I could say it wasn't Death Stranding, it wasn't Fallout 4, it was Crackdown 3.
No, well, Metal Gear Solid, I went like 6 towns out of the way. I called every GameStop known to man because I wanted to find out who was doing a midnight release. And it happened to be some place way north.
Yeah, but that's a game that, like, that's like your favorite franchise, though.
Yeah, like if
Isn't it? I would say.
Metal Gear Solid?
Not a Resident Evil, maybe.
Yeah.
No, not Resident Evil. I don't know. It used to be Metal Gear Solid, and then 5 happened, and it really just kind of.
Did that really take down the whole thing?
It hurts. That's a friggin'. They were supposed to finish the game, and he didn't. That was one of the biggest gripes I had with him. Plus, every time you played a mission, he would name every character that was going to be in it, like before it happened. So he's like, "Oh, starring like the I forget those enemies that would run around really really quick."
I don't know, man.
And it would be like, "Why did you tell me that? Now I know they're going to be showing up." So at one point, like, you go to rescue a character and you know the enemy is going to, like, show up at some point. So it's like a spoiler ahead when you never wanted a spoiler in general.
Yeah, I'm still annoyed that they didn't let us play as, like, Salt Snake right after the first Metal Gear, because that's what everyone was excited about, and then they took that away with they threw in Raiden there, and everyone was annoyed, and then the third one was a prequel, and then the fourth one was, like, you know, jumped in 20 years or whatever into the future.
Yeah, so...
Kind of a bummer.
And I was just hoping that this was going to come full circle. And I mean, there is talk that they're making a Metal Gear, that Konami is making a Metal Gear Solid outside of Kojima, and it's going to be the in-between.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I don't care, like, there's a lot of fanboys that are like, if it's not Kojima, I'm not playing it, like, for Metal Gear. And I'm like, I don't care. If they do a great job, and again, it's not hard when the story is already written, and you just follow it.
I already felt betrayed when they took David Hayter out of Metal Gear 5 and added friggin' Keith Sutherland.
That was another thing too. All they had
Keith Sutherland sucks.
He sucks. He did a good. He did a good job with Snake.
In real life.
But I would have understood. I would have completely understood with that whole Kiefer Sutherland thing if they did one thing at the very end of that game.
Had David Hayter.
So sorry, spoilers, but this game has been out for a while. But at the end of the game, you find out you're not really Big Boss. You're just some medic guy that gets implanted with his memories and his abilities and all this jazz to cover up for the real Big Boss that's doing something. But anyway, at one point they do a little switcheroo that happened at the beginning of the game when you get knocked out and you think you're this guy, but then they switch you, and you find out the other guy was actually Big Boss the whole time, and then they, at the end of the game, they do a cutscene where Ocelot chats with him. All they had to do was have David Hayter talk in that one part for 5 minutes, and it would have pleased me. But instead, they're like, nope, we're going to stick with... Because that was the whole voice change thing. I get it. You wanted it to sound different, so that obviously you didn't know it was the same guy.
It was Hideo Kojima wanted to hang out with some famous guys.
Yeah, it was just like, all right.
Also, calm down calling him like one of the most famous guys, too. It's Kiefer Sutherland. I know 24 was a good recognized show, but come on.
I don't know. The Lost Boys, he's got quite the history.
His voice isn't even like that distinguishable.
No, but Snake, David Hayter's was, and
no, that's what I'm saying.
It
was
like in
so
iconic, and that would have been a great reason. So when they showed him and he was about to speak, I'm like, it's going to be David Hayter's voice, and it was just Kiefer Sutherland again.
Oh, that was like me at the end of Star Wars Episode 7, where I kept thinking Luke Skywalker was going to pop out of nowhere, and it just never happened.
Remind me again, Episode 7.
Episode 7, that's the first one with the new characters.
He was in the end.
Yeah, like for a second he didn't say anything.
Yeah, it was kind of...
I kept thinking like when they were in like the I don't know, the new Death Star, Star Killer Base, I think it's called. I thought at the end, like when they're in that snow area and, you know, Ren had his weird lightsaber and you saw Luke's old lightsaber shaking and it flew off to someone. I thought it was going to fly off to Luke's hand and we were going to have an awesome battle, and no, it just went to Rey. Who, you know, I like her, like Daisy Ridley. I like Rey.
And add Andy Rhodes to the list of people that would be a better director than any of the people directing the new Star Wars movies.
They were fun. I just feel like Captain Phasma was so cool, and then she just died.
I don't know if she's dead.
She did nothing. I know, but like...
I hope she's not dead, because that was a pretty... All right. I don't want to get on a Star Wars tangent. I want to know what Matt's been playing for the last week.
Oh.
Unless Dan needed to make a really important point.
No, it was just that...
Because we're going to get on a huge tangent here.
Well, it was just the fact that like Captain Phasma's cool, and then it just seemed like she did nothing for the first 2
I want to know more about her.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Same thing with Snoke.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they killed Vader in like the first half of this original trilogy, just like instantly?
Yeah.
And just like moved on really quickly.
like so easily.
It's like,
you're in charge now.
You've been building up. You've been building him up this whole time.
So Matt, you've been super into a bad RPG for the last week. Tell us about that.
I've been playing Final Fantasy 13.
That's a very bad one.
The beginning of my epic journey to play the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy.
I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on the other two.
Me too. So
Lightning Returns got the good reviews.
Yeah, so that's I don't know how much I went into this last week, but I've been thinking about that trilogy and just how strange it is that they picked the one that is probably the least liked of all the modern ones after 7.
2 sequels.
To make 2 sequels, one of which came out after the PS4 launched, which is like insane to me. It was only like a week or 2 after, but I mean that's how long they were developing these games, like into the development of the next. Like that's why I never probably played it the first time, because I got a PS4 and I had completely moved on. So I'm about 20 hours in. Again, I don't remember exactly how much or what I said about it last week with Dan.
I wasn't here,
but it is. So I played it when it came out. I beat it, and then I never looked at it again.
You beat it already once? Did you not remember how bad it was?
Well, I remember.
I don't remember what I played,
which is why I never played it again.
It was a 40-hour linear tutorial.
So yeah, that's why I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'll get to play a Final Fantasy basically for the first time again, even though it's old.
Yeah.
And I'm about 20 hours in, and it's literally just corridor after corridor of very like it feels like a B game, like one of those like games you would find in a budget bin for like it came out at $30 and like it was never supposed to be a lot of money. I mean, the UI and like a lot of fighting systems are pretty interesting and unique and polished, but just the fact that all of the backgrounds are really like you're just going through a ruin and then you're going through, okay, here's a forest background, but it's just all linear. You're going down a track. There's really very few side paths. And I remember when I was playing Final Fantasy X, I thought like, oh, this is a bummer that they don't have a big open world. There's no open world map. They kind of took that out of there. I was like, oh, this is so linear. But in retrospect, like Final Fantasy X, you could go around, you could move around in the cities. There's like NPCs that you could talk to. You could do a bunch of side quests. But like 20 hours into this game, I haven't gotten to really a single like hub or city area. There hasn't been literally one side quest that I can speak of. No secrets, no like secret summons or secret like how to get better weapons or anything like that. You do get better weapons, but The problem is you have to upgrade your weapons by using these components that you get from dropped enemies, and you like feed these components to your weapons and they level up. But because you do that, like every weapon I get is substantially less good than the weapons that I've been leveling up. And because they're kind of stingy about these components, you can't really say, oh, I'm going to start over with this new weapon and level that one up. It's just like way too costly. And I mean, there's shops that you get, which are, it's not like nice shops with like this, hey, here's this owner and they've got a personality. It's literally just at a save point. There's a list of 5 or 6 shops that you can go to. And they're so stingy too on how they dole out like the gold and currency in that game that I literally haven't bought a single item in that game. And there are still like regular items in the shop that I can't afford because I only have, after 20 hours, like, I don't know, like 5,000 or 6,000 gold, where like some items cost 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So it's like not even worth it to buy anything and use up 20 hours worth of gold currency that I've accumulated. Now, if my memory serves me correct, there's a point probably pretty soon to where I am now where the game really opens up and you can kind of, okay, Andy's shaking his head no. But I've heard a lot of people say...
From my recollection, it was like 30 to 40 hours in.
Okay, yeah, it's a long game. It's supposed to be like a 50, 60-hour game. And like the kind of consensus is like, okay, if you stick it through, this game gets good at 20 or 30 hours or whatever it is when it finally opens up, which it hasn't done yet, and I'm waiting for it to do, and I'm hoping it gets a little better. But
and people complain about Death Stranding.
I'm wondering if it's gonna justify the struggle now, though.
I don't think it will.
I'm wondering how much it'll weigh in.
It's really more about a curiosity. Specifically, I just want to get to those other 2 games, which are, I think Lightning Returns was actually kind of considered better than Final Fantasy 13.
Not from what Dan
we just looked at reviews and it was bad.
It was worse
was
than
it the
13-2.
second one?
Second one did okay.
I thought one of them was supposed to be better than the first one. Or like
13-2 was very close in rating wise. So, but I bet in Japan that was just such a huge calling for this series. I don't know why, because not only was it segregated, like you played with like 2 characters and then another 2 characters, and
yes, that was another thing.
It felt very disjointed, and then on top of that, like I absolutely hated the girl and that little boy. Half the time I got him killed because I'm like, I just
they're a little annoying. But like you were just saying, this is another thing for the first. At least because I just got to the point where I can have all of my characters. So the first 18 or 19 hours, you're literally just in like, for the most part, pairs of 2, where they have this kind of interesting fighting system where you have
the paradigm system.
Yeah, so you have like 1 of 6 roles. So there's like a Ravager, which is kind of does damage. There's a Commander, which kind of like does damage and does some leader attributes. Then there's the Medic, and then there's the Saboteur, which like cause status effects to the enemies. And there's a guy that buffs all of your enemies, which is kind of cool that instead of switching between attacks and skills, which you can still do, but you're switching between these kind of basically like a job classes. And then you can just like switch between those to what you need in that specific fight at that time. So you don't have to choose before you go into a fight. You can switch it on the fly, which is really cool. But when you only have 2 characters in your fight for the most of the first 19 hours, it's like, okay, you have to have a medic or like an attack guy. You can't really experiment with like these kind of more unique roles. Like there's a sentinel role, which is kind of ends up like being a tank where you kind of provoke the enemy, and it's like I really haven't found any time where I could do that when there's 2 of us, because I need someone doing damage, and then the other person either needs to be helping doing damage or at least like healing or something. So it just feels very restrictive for this open, interesting gameplay combat system that they're just kind of narrowing you into. You have to use these 2 because you don't have enough to really experiment with those other guys.
I give a lot of credit to them for trying something different with the battle system, but I never liked the paradigm system.
It was cool. And another thing that's annoying is, so I finally get to the point where it's a little bit hard, and like I may be a little underleveled because I've been kind of mainlining it. Now, as far as like gaining extra levels, the only way you can do it is to literally just go back the corridor and then wait for guys to load up and then, go back the other way. Like there's not like, it's not like I'm like skipping side areas or anything like that. But so I'm struggling a little, and I was like, all right, I'm going to wait till I get to the kind of the quote unquote big open world area where I can start doing side quests and level up or something else and level up that way. But I'm now at a boss. I'm stuck at a boss, and I think this might have been similar to where I was stuck with last week, but this is a completely new boss where it's not that I'm struggling with the boss. I can attack him. I'm doing a lot of damage to him. I don't die, but he has a death timer, like a doom timer. So if you don't beat this boss within 20 minutes or something, he just kills you instantly, which is so infuriating because, he's got these 4 add-on bosses that I'm fighting, and then I'm able to kill all of them. I'm able to get him down to only like 70% health. So he's still got I'm not close to doing it. So I don't know if it's a matter of I just got to go back in corridors and train for another 4 hours, which is going to be a nightmare. Or like I'm doing some strategy wrong, which is I've tried a few times and I haven't had any luck, which is frustrating.
I'm going to use some advice that Andy told me when playing another Square Enix game.
I have to beat it.
If you're not enjoying it...
Matt doesn't have anything else to do, though.
That's true.
I have a few games that I could tell you to play. I mean...
But I got to beat the whole trilogy. This is why I bought an Xbox One.
No.
My 360 broke.
For Final Fantasy 13?
Yeah, my 360 broke. I was going to do this on my 360.
That is why he bought this.
There is such a better RPG that you have not played that you should pop in. Kingdoms of Amalur. Play it. It's much better than Final Fantasy 13.
Oh, that sounds...
It's
old-timey.
So shifting.
What does that mean?
Shifting.
What does that mean?
I'm pretty sure
it sounds like buckles and like swords.
No,
and stuff.
It's great. It has a very similar art style to World of Warcraft, but yet the combat of like a hack and slash. It was a very good game. It was just overshadowed by Elder Scrolls.
Xbox One game or
no, it's an Xbox 360, but it is backwards compatible.
Was this the game made by
38 Studios?
Guy?
Yeah, Kurt Schilling. Yep. And it was a great. It's unfortunate that the game was great. It was just unfortunate they came out right in the shadow of Elder Scrolls.
I don't think anybody who plays as much WoW Classic as you should be making fun of any other game for being old-timey.
Not like old-timey, like 10 years old, like old-timey, like I don't like games that are set in kind of medieval-y times.
You mean like World of Warcraft?
You played The Witcher.
There's like trolls and like wizards and stuff.
You played The Witcher.
And it took me so long to play The Witcher because I was so...
Were you glad that you played The Witcher?
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
all right, let me make one more complaint about FF13, which I think I might have touched on last week, so I'm sorry if this is a repeat. But the fact that your game ends if your leader in your party dies is ridiculous, because that's not how RPGs works. It defeats the purpose of Phoenix Downs, which you have, but you can't use them unless one of your side guys dies, which is such a nightmare, because two of your guys can be fine, and your leader dies, which means you have to have you have to be super defensive, because there's this one... Usually with games, you can be like, all right, I can take a little bit more risks, because if one guy goes down, I can Phoenix him, or I can use like a Rise if you have a high enough level. But with this, you have to be super defensive, and you can't really be as aggressive or take as many risks, because you got to keep this one person alive the whole time.
I could see how that would be neat if the medic was the only one that could Phoenix down people. So, or if he could revive someone himself, and then maybe the other characters, can use Phoenix Downs, they don't know how to use the magic or something. So if the medic went down and you didn't have any Phoenix Downs, I could understand, all right, going forward, you can't revive anyone, so good luck. So you're down to 2 party members, and, you can't swap out that third one or something. But just the party leader, that is kind of annoying. What is it, just lightning every time?
It's so for the first 19 hours or 18 hours, they kind of choose who your leader is going to be. I think I've just kind of hit the point, right before the boss I'm stuck at, where you can choose your party and choose who the leader is. So it depends on who you choose, but you can't let them die.
Do you think maybe for this boss that you're stuck at, you're just not picking the right combination of people or skills?
It's possible. I feel like I'm doing a very good job of picking what I think would be the best for it. I mean, I'll keep. That was kind of my plan is tonight to just kind of go through and see if there's specific skills that other characters have that my characters don't have. Because I think so. Each character can get 3 different classes that they can specialize in. That's how you can switch in between. In the middle of a fight, you can switch your girl from a lightning to a medic to a commander or whatever it is. But even within that subset, there's a few different characters that can be commanders, but they have different skill sets. So some of them can get to a higher level of commander at certain points, if that makes sense. So there's abilities that are kind of at least time gated to specific characters.
So are you enjoying it though? Do you feel fulfilled that you're finally going through all these games like you wanted to, or is it really just making you hate your life?
I'm kind of disappointed in it, but I'm still there is something nice. The gameplay is when it is working, when you're not fighting enemies that aren't time, death, doom timers or anything like that. It is kind of fun to do the combat.
Because I told Dan that when he was playing Kingdom Hearts 1, a game I know he's complained about for 20 years, also with a huge stack of current games next to him that he knew he needed to play. You have no stack. You have nothing.
To play? Oh, I have plenty to play. After these, I have to go through literally all 5 Gears of War's games. Cause
no. But like
you
current,
don't have
like
to.
new games that have come out lately.
You also realize that, especially with Gears of War, that you can skip like certain ones and you won't miss it.
Or you could
I'm
skip
not a
them all.
casual, Dan. I could just skip games.
No, this guy, he played through every single mainlay and side Kingdom Hearts game.
I played
just to
through
get ready
literally
for 3.
every Kingdom Hearts game to get rid of
just-
3, and then I stopped playing Kingdom Hearts 3 at like the last 2 hours, like 5 hours of the game when you get to the bosses at the end. Just how
but if you're not
tragically bad
enjoying
that
it-
game was.
So Gears of War is very like, I don't want to go through the whole series again. I would play the first one because the first one was memorable. Second one was completely forgettable. The third one was pretty forgettable. The fourth one was neat, and the fifth one was a little bit better than neat. But
It almost sounds like you shouldn't play any of them.
I gotta get my value
the
out
Gears
of this
War,
thing.
the Gears of War, the first one was neat. It had some.
All the Gears people are on my Xbox box.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play the multiplayer, I'll play the multiplayer with you. The multiplayer is fun and
Do you mean the
chaotic.
cardboard box that your system came in?
Yeah, they were so excited to come home with me.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
No, they weren't.
Oh yeah, I got Fallen Jedi with mine. I can't tell whether or not I should just like pop the code in and play it on the Xbox, or I don't really know what I should do. I'm in a real pickle here.
It's a good game.
Sell it and get a physical copy later.
Well, I'm in a pickle here, not with Fallen Jedi in general. I don't mind popping in the code.
Is it
in.
Fallen Jedi or Fallen Order? I've had this like
Fallen Order?
I'm so
Jedi Fallen Order, right?
Fallen Order.
I'm all over the place with it.
Sorry,
All right,
I was getting it confused with The Last Jedi that came out last year.
really
2 years
just
ago?
well. Anyway, I'm just gonna do a quick list. This is
Okay,
going through
all
the
right,
backwards
quick list.
compatible games that you should be playing instead of Final Fantasy. Alan Wake. Have you played it?
I know, but see, you gotta buy them. It's like a whole thing.
They're like 6 cents. Like Alan Wake is nothing. Not only that, with the pass, you might be able to play the backwards compatible ones. Bayonetta,
I played that. I didn't love it.
BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite.
I played those.
You played those? Going down the list.
You're
the
going
list.
alphabetically and you're at BioShock. Maybe we should shut this down.
No, I'm just quickly going through the list. Castlevania Lords of Shadow and Lords of Shadow 2.
I have not played that.
That is so much better. You should stop playing it and play that. Crisis 2, Crisis 3.
I think I played the first one.
Okay, you got 2 and 3 to play. All right, looks like you got a lot of
But I
lot
gotta
of games
play
to
Final Fantasy
Dante's
13.
Inferno. Have you played that?
No, but I
Nope.
gotta,
Dark Souls. You should play that one.
There's a 13-2, and then there's a lightning.
yeah, it
Return.
doesn't
You don't
matter.
need to play Dante's
You-
Inferno.
You can skip Dante's Inferno if you really want, but Deadly Premonition. You like weird games? Play Deadly Premonition. I will let you borrow it and you can play that. It's weird as hell. Doom 3, the big fucking gun edition. Did you play that?
I have played Doom 3 on the.
Did you
PC.
beat it?
I did.
You beat it. Okay, I'll let that. How about Dragon Age Origins?
I never played that. That's a game I've always
Dragon
wanted
Age
to play.
2, Dragon Age Inquisition. These are games you should play ahead of Final Fantasy. Terrible. Sorry,
No, I'm already
13.
20 hours in. I've committed.
Cut your losses. How does that not make that daunting to you? Like, oh, I'm not loving this game, and I'm only the first
It's not like I'm
third.
sitting there like annoyed and like sad the whole time. Like I am enjoying parts of it. I'm just like it's so.
Because you just said you
depressing
had to
compared to the
grind
other
for
ones.
4 hours.
Well, I haven't done that yet, but I might have to.
Right there, I
I'm
would
very
just be like, nope, not playing this. Nope. If I had to grind in a game that I'm not enjoying for 4 hours, screw that. Like I'm enjoying,
I think Matt's enjoying himself in his own way, though.
but I just heard
Like
about the complaints.
I've never really worried about Matt. Like Matt,
This is my, like-
always like clamoring for games to play. Like what I mean is, okay, I understand. What I mean is, it's not like he has like, oh my god, he's like having anxiety about like all these games he needs to get to. Like he beats games so quickly, like he knows what he's doing. I never
Yeah,
really
it's
worried
part of
about
20
like,
hours is not so quickly. That's time. He could have beat Alan Wake and Gears of War 1, potentially 2, with the time of that. And you're talking about you love those done. You could have.
It's not all about that. It's kind of my Trump trophy hunter mentality. Like I want to get it done. I want to beat this game. It's like
But if you can get a lot more trophies if you beat 3 games instead of one
Well, I
real
mean,
bad game,
yeah.
right?
all right, so
I'm
we
trying
could
to
go around in circle.
Yeah,
with
maybe
this
who
for
else has played
days.
games lately
Well,
this
going
week?
back to the thing I was saying before.
Andy, what have you been playing?
No, I said I was in a pickle, and then you guys
okay.
took back over.
Dan did it.
So I'm in a pickle
Okay, where's
with this game of the year bullshit.
Okay.
I haven't been playing enough games.
No?
I'm not catching up.
You've just got to play a game every
I've just
4
been
hours.
playing Call of Duty.
That's fair. I mean, we're like a small little studio. We don't need to get every game on our list. It's more of a so we have a
I'm not. I decided what I decided to do was a lot of the games that I was going to be maybe even looking at or talking about or opinionating of against you guys. I was just going to watch footage of, and then I'm going to make sure to I'm going to play enough of certain games, but only the games I knew I was going to play anyways, like Jedi Fallen Order, Outer Worlds, like games that I knew I was going to enjoy and want to play. Link's Awakening, I wasn't planning on beating it. I even said just a couple weeks ago, oh yeah, I'm not going to beat it. I'm done. I'm going to try the other games and then go back to it. But then it was so much fun. I couldn't help it. I got addicted to it because I loved it. I loved every minute of the game.
Fun. Yeah, I mean, so we're going to be doing a Game of the Year podcast style discussion, 1 or 2 podcasts over the next couple of weeks, and we're probably going to air it during Christmas week. We are trying to beat a bunch of games to make sure that we can discuss it, but I mean, I don't think this is something where it's just the 3 of us, so we don't need to have every game accounted for. It's more of
this is like a meeting we should have off the podcast that we're having on the podcast.
It's more of a what is the favorite games according to Manabar gaming, podcast, video game podcast. It's not really like there is no definite list. It's just people's opinions.
Yeah.
So it's just the 3 of ours opinions. So if there's a game we didn't play, it probably means, even if it was like accoladed and people seem to love it, because none of us even got the urge to say I want to try this, then it's just not one of our games of the year.
I'm not playing Devil May Cry 5. I'm not playing Kingdom Hearts 3. There are certain games I will play. I want to at least play a little bit of the games.
Here's a spoiler
that
alert.
I knew.
Kingdom Hearts 3 will not be on our list of favorite games of this year. So
no, but it might be on someone's most disappointing game of the year or something like that. No, and I realize that. That's why for a lot of them, I wanted to watch some footage to get the gist. But I'm only going to be playing the games that I originally had an inkling to play. Dan was holding up the peace sign. I'm assuming he's talking about Resident Evil 2. Yes, that was one of them.
That you should play regardless of if it's in time for Game of the Year. Like, that's just such a good game.
No, and I fully planned on it. But anyways, that's why I have Fallen Jedi. I was going to play it either way. The 2 options are I can just pop in the code, or I can sell the code and then buy the game, or I can just sell the code and get GameFly again. I think it's too much work because I don't want GameFly for anything else right now. So I think I'm just going to pop in the code and we'll just play it on Xbox One.
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the story. And, we discussed this a couple weeks ago. I'm probably the biggest Star Wars fan among the 3 of us. And I'm not even really that big of a Star Wars fan. Like, I don't know anything about, the books or the little canon things or anything like that, but I know enough about what's going on and the intricacies of the stories to where I'll probably enjoy that a little more from that sense than you 2 would. So I'm looking forward to playing that game. It's sitting in there. I'll probably play it a little bit this weekend.
Do it up. It's good times.
But yeah, it just it sucks that there's a lot of games that came out this year that I'm not going to get to, but I'm a big proponent about not forcing myself to play something I'm probably not going to like. There's not 1 ounce of me that thinks I'll like or enjoy Devil May Cry 5. Not because it's a bad game. It's not me.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It wasn't, I don't think it's a game I didn't think it was that amazing either. I mean, it's just like, if you've got nothing better to play, it's a good game to play. But I don't think it's either any of us' kind of style of favorite game. So
Dan asked me yesterday, when are you going to play the Call of Duty campaign? And he assumed that I didn't want to play it just because I thought it was bad. It's not even that. It's the same thing with why I didn't play any of the Divisions or the Ghost Recons or any the military shooters are all just hey, we're military shooter. I already know the campaign. There's nothing you can do in that campaign that's going to push me that hard to want to play it. It's not a knock on the campaign for the game. It's just it's a waste of time to me.
Yeah, those were never really great. I always felt like they were just kind of big. I used to always do them. They were big tutorials for the multiplayer. At least I knew the basics. It's so frustrating to start in a multiplayer game if you've never played it before and you don't know how the controls work and you're just getting killed before you can even learn how to focus on an enemy. So it's just kind of really good in that way that you play this 6-hour campaign and learn about how all the different intricacies of the weapons and grenades and just kind of the things the flashbangs, the things you don't use as much. You can kind of get a good feel how the gun work is with kind of easier enemies.
That sounded like me when I just tried Halo Master Chief Collection again. When I went to match, I went 3 and 18.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
I was just and we were playing SWAT too, so like I was popping around a corner, I was like dead. Like I'm like God.
Like you don't even know where things are on the map, and it's just
the only military shooter campaign I would go back to now, and it's more just for nostalgia factor because I doubt it really holds up. Is from 2001, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, the storming Normandy campaign. Like, oh my God, that was great. That was like back when that was like. If it wasn't for Medal of Honor, Call of Duty would not be where it is right now. Medal of Honor came out first. Medal of Honor did the online first-person war shooter first, before Call of Duty. Call of Duty basically did the same thing like a year or two later with another World War II game, and it just took off better. And Medal of Honor was never able to make another good game in that series. And Call of Duty, honestly, between 1 and 4, 2 and 3 kind of sucked. So I guess they kind of did the same thing before is what really like put them on the map. But Medal of Honor did it first,
Yeah,
But that was more about the historical factors. Like you were this like secret agent going undercover, working with the Nazis and the Russians, and storming Normandy and actually dealing that was just it was like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Is that was a World War II one, right?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I get it confused with Black Hawk Down. For some reason.
Oh, I don't think I saw Black Hawk Down.
Other than that, speaking of Halo, I mentioned this earlier. I dipped into the Master Chief Collection now that I hooked up my Xbox One, and I played a little bit of the Halo 1 campaign. I also played a little bit of the multiplayer. It does get a little bit... It took me a few games to really get used to it, especially because it was cycling through all the different Halo games. You have to kind of get used to it
Yeah, you were telling me
time.
that before the podcast, and that seems like would be super jarring to me. Like, because the games, I would assume they play very subtly differently, which would be very
it's not
frustrating.
even subtle. They play extremely differently.
Isn't that frustrating to be like you're playing a match and then you go into a match for a completely different game?
Here's the thing. Aside from Halo 4 and Halo Reach, Halo 1 through 3 played pretty similarly to each other where I don't think it would be different. Halo 5 is the one that added in the armor abilities, like you had armor lock, you could run or something. And then Halo 4 was the biggest jump because you every character could run. It was like playing Call of Duty. You could have like loadout presets and all this other stuff. So that was the big difference. But just switching between the first 3 really isn't that different at all. Like, I went from 3 to 1. It didn't really even feel like there was much of a change at all. You're still floating around. You jump and fall very slowly compared to like Call of Duty. It's a lot slower paced than Call of Duty.
No battle pass.
No battle pass. But yeah, that's Link's Awakening was my huge play of the past couple weeks. I demolished it. I only have a little bit left to do. I'm not going to pray too much on it now, but it's something I plan on revisiting maybe in January and February just to get those last few heart pieces.
That's something I'm a little jealous of, that you kind of stay and, smell the roses, to say, like you get all of the, the shells and stuff. And I kind of feel this urge to move on to the next game if there's something newer and flashier out.
Which is weird because you're like the trophy hunter guy. Like you love that shit.
I am, but
Switch doesn't have trophies though.
Switch doesn't have trophies, and it's just like getting all of those shells just seems like such a chore almost.
I'm only one away though.
Yeah, that would frustrate me so much.
Yeah,
But that would make me go like, hey, I'm gonna do. But with the shrines from like Breath of the Wild, when it's like I have 60 to go, nope. I'm just not that interested. I'm just, especially for what you get, I was like, no.
So, and that's why there's only so much time I'm going to put into that last shell. Because what happened with Breath of the Wild is I had 2 shrines left to find. I found 118 without any help from the internet, and those last 2, I'm like, I could keep searching and I'll probably eventually find them, but do I want to spend 20 hours trying to find these 2 shrines in this big level when I have no idea? It doesn't even tell you like what section of the map like they are or anything like that.
When does Zelda ever do that?
So I did look up those last 2 shrines, and it's like 2 spots that I passed over like a million times, so I probably never would have found them. But yeah, I'm not going to spend like 20 hours looking for this last seashell, but maybe like January, February when things slow down a bit, I do want to give it another go and try to find that last one if I can. It's also, it's a Switch game. It's something to play on. It's not like I have a crap ton of Switch games to play on the go, so I do have to get back into Octopath Traveler though.
True.
I was hoping to find Pokemon Sword or Shield, Octopath Traveler, and another really good $55 game from when GameStop's doing a buy 2 get 1. You guys spoke so highly of Octopath Traveler.
Yeah, but why would you want Pokemon Sword and Shield?
I I realized that Pokemon on the go is just kind of fun, even if you just play like,
Didn't you?
What's up?
hate those games because they're turn-based.
They're turn-based, but it kind of
Like you vehemently get angry about them.
I get angry that it is not what I'd hoped for. I was hoping it would be an action RPG where you actually control the Pokemon.
But you hated all of the previous games. I'm just surprised to hear you say it. It was the same reaction I had when he said he wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm like, really?
I didn't hate the previous games. I just think there was a lot of things that I thought were frustrating and a complete waste of time, like the older ones where the only Pokemon that would gain experience is the one that you're using. So in order to do a little trick, is you put the wrong one out and then put the right one out and then attack.
Well, that's only at the very beginning. Eventually, you get items that like XP All and XP Share that share the experience between all the Pokemon, so you don't have to do that.
Well, yeah, but that didn't happen in like the first few games. Now they're starting to do that.
That was the first game.
That was the first game.
Experience All. You don't get it until maybe around Fuchsia City, but
doesn't
you
it divide the experience though?
It does. That's why in Gold and Silver they introduced Experience Share, where if you had one other Pokemon that you wanted to level up, you just have them hold the Experience Share, and then they gain experience, and it only gets cut in half. That is annoying. Like, I mean, Final Fantasy VII, even the characters that weren't in your party were gaining experience on the side, not nearly at the rate I wanted, but
yeah.
they were
but
gaining experience
I
on the
like
side.
the fact that the newer ones, everybody in the party gets it. Now it's not that much, but it's enough to like, oh, this character isn't way behind.
I think that was just in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I don't think they're doing that with the new one. So the reason they did that in Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu is because you couldn't battle the Pokemon when you saw them. You had to you just threw the ball at them, so all of your Pokemon would gain experience. I don't know if it's like that in this new one.
Oh, well, see, that would be frustrating. But anyway, worst comes to worst, if I didn't like it, I could just...
But you didn't end up finding a third game.
No, not...
Did they even have Octopath Traveler?
Oh, it was at almost every single GameStop, yeah.
They had Phantom... Because, I'm in the middle of maybe in the middle of playing through all the Zelda games, and, there's a couple that I owned at one point and then got rid of that I now have to reclaim. So I saw Phantom Hourglass just for the Nintendo DS, just the cartridge at GameStop for $25. I'm like, are you out of your mind? No, I'm not doing that. Found it on eBay with the box and the manual for $20. I'm like, nice. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
That'll do me.
Just the cartridge.
Yeah, it was GameStop, just the
GameStop
cartridge.
They were just trying to save space, so they threw out everything. But it makes it so hard to like look at those games. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but something saying that like that little words, like I can't get enough.
See, I was fine buying the cartridge if it wasn't $25.
Oh, see the market. Well, even
I paid less than that for the full complete game. With the manual and the box and everything, I paid $20.
So if it was $20, you would have bought the cartridge?
Just the cartridge? No, I would have paid like $5 to $10 for it, maybe.
So the box is important to you.
No, I'm saying that you're taking the value away of what I would pay for the game, especially with the cartridges, because they're so like, it's not like they give you like good holders for those or anything like that. Like they have the CD sleeves for the CDs, but I don't know, the little cartridge, like I would probably just put it in like my I have a DS case with like little cartridge holders, but I don't know, just paying $26 for just that little cartridge, like I already thought that was overpriced to begin with, and that it didn't come with a box. Not even a generic box, like.
That's kind of the Nintendo problem though, because they don't lower the prices for any of their games, so they never go on sale. Like that, you can like Mario Party 7.
This
for,
is
like,
a game from like 2004 though.
Thing is gonna be.
That's
like
why I thought it was a big deal.
Still.
Mario Odyssey and Mario Party were $20 off. I was like, wow, that's surprising. They never do that.
Did you guys see that special edition Switch that just came out? The red one with Mario Odyssey. It has 2 red Joy-Cons and it comes with Mario Odyssey.
I did not.
Yeah, it's the newer Switch, the one with the better battery life. It's the one that just came out.
No.
Oh, that was kind of neat.
I thought the Pokemon light one was kind of neat too. It's like white, kind of looks like a piece of candy. It's like white with light blue and a little bit of yellow.
Have you been playing anything besides Death Stranding and Call of Duty? Is there anything new you want to say or talk about?
Well, I did dabble into Halo a bit, and then I started Devil May Cry 5, which is very different from the Devil May Cry
the reboot,
which I loved. I absolutely love that game. But this one, I had to flip around a lot of the controls because it was it didn't feel comfortable. Like you have to lock on to an enemy, and then say you want to like kick them up in the air, you have to put the joystick back and then hit. So I'm trying to like mentally do the action. Like, okay, if I press back, I'm kicking him this way, and I It took me a while to really get the hang of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different like aspects to the combat in that game. Like it's kind of like a ballerina fighter where you're doing a lot of different things. Yep. And the problem with that is you're switching between 3 characters. So every time you get the hang of one, you switch to another character. And you
I only have one.
Yeah, so you'll switch to, I mean, it's not a spoiler. It's pretty. You'll be switching
they were all walking on the cover. I mean,
so you'll be switching back between these 3 characters, and one of the kind of good and bad things about
can
this
you
game,
choose who you want to play mostly?
No, it's typically like this character for this level. The good and bad thing is like, they all have their own interesting kind of gameplay, but like you can never really feel like you get the hang of any of them because you're switching back and forth all the time. It's kind of a pain.
Because doesn't Dante throw around a motorcycle?
Yes.
I don't want to throw around a motorcycle. I just want to swing a sword. So like the main character, Nero or whatever, he's neat because he has like a katana or like a sword, and I guess it's like built partly from like a motorcycle engine, so like he can like rev it and basically like turns on fire. So I was like, all right, that's really cool. But then he only has like one arm, and I was like, oh, that's not cool. Like, because then at one point you lose your arms, and all I can do is stare at his nub. Like, he looks so stupid. Give me I don't even want to use it, because then when you use the arm ability and it detonates or whatever, he walks around with nothing. It's like, I can't have like a placeholder like arm. Like, it just looks so stupid. Anyway.
You gotta live with
I'm a visual person, so if like, something looks stupid, I'm just gonna stare at it, and it's gonna annoy the crap out of me. So.
Is that why you stare at Andy the whole podcast?
Yeah, just something about his smug little face.
Unnecessary Andy Byrne.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So other than Devil May Cry, I'm still just chugging along with Death Stranding, which, as Matt said, I'm not very far. And he keeps looking at me like, really?
What chapter are you on now?
6 or 7. Like I said, I just got to this mountainous region, and he thinks I'm still not even like,
Last time I asked you was 2 weeks ago. You were on chapter 5.
Yeah. Well, usually you can run to one area and like do it, but usually there's a bunch of like preppers, I guess they call them, all around, and I'm like, oh, I got a 5-star all these guys.
So you do not. You do not need 5-star.
Wait a minute. You can't give me crap when you're going through a game you don't even kind of like just because you want the whole trilogy done.
But okay, you're still enjoying playing this game?
Absolutely. Every moment, I absolutely love it.
I don't actually believe
I love
that,
now.
though.
Yeah.
Why don't you believe that?
I don't
some sort of like
I don't have
Stockholm
really
syndrome
any like
thing.
Why? No, now there's combat. Now I have to. I love prepping for the combat. Okay, I'm going through here. There's terrorists over here, and there's BTs. All right, so I need to take an anti-BT weapon with me to make sure that I can combat that. And then I have a bunch of these terrorist guys, so I need to make sure to have those pauldrons that protect me from this. This is a whole thing. I love this prepping. I love games that you are like, you're constantly carrying around your items and you're protecting them, and I love it. I am enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah,
I
didn't
know
have
why
any.
You guys think that I'm
no.
am
I don't have
thoroughly
any.
enjoying the shit out of this game.
I don't have any evidence to support that. It was just a feeling.
No, and I will tell you, the first 3 hours of the game, or 4 hours of the game, I did struggle. I was worried. There was one point where you first fight the mule dude, and I was like, I can't defend myself. This is stupid. Like, I threw a case and I missed him, and I was like, great, now what the fuck am I gonna do? Because you can't fight them. You can't really fight them from the front. They block everything.
What's the mule?
So
dude?
Mules are just
enemy.
Yeah, they're a type of enemy. They're I don't want to spoil anything, but they basically carry like
they have like
a lightning rod.
Mules.
Yeah, they carry like a lightning rod, and they basically knock you out.
I hate electric enemies.
Yeah.
Most games.
Well, yeah, and he shocks you, and they're a pain in the ass too, because if you're like, say you're driving in an area and they're really slow, they can throw them like javelins, and if they strike your vehicle, it's stunned for like 2 minutes. So you really have to, and on top of that, your cargo gets knocked all over the place, and you have to prep them. But by that time, they're friggin' attacking you. So. And then at that choice, you're choosing, crap, which case am I willing to break to knock this guy out? But then when you finally kind of got a weapon and you finally found ways to defend yourself, fell in love with the game immediately. Immediately when you got the bola gun, that immediately fell in love. Cool. I was just like, this is Metal Gear Solid 5 in a sci-fi, super sci-fi, like post-apocalyptic world. And it was like, boom, I love it. So... yeah, you can take a wild guess which game I'm going to potentially vote Game of the Year for. But there's another one there's another few that are competing.
That'll be a fun conversation.
So it will. No, I'm still thoroughly enjoying that, and I am very excited to play the Halo multiplayer after Andy was like, because we were playing it, and I went back and I was like, everything feels really floaty and weird, and Andy's like, calm down, Dan, it's different from Call of Duty, and I'm like, I know, but it feels wrong, and Andy's like, shoot me, just shoot at me, and I'm like, I can't hit you, and he's like, play around with some of the friggin' things and find it, and then I changed some stuff.
There's like a few settings you can
There's
change.
a bunch of settings, and I was like being able to hit Andy like in the head across the map. I was like, oh, Andy, I figured it out, and he's like, yeah, I knew you would. So, and then immediately,
I didn't sound that condescending, but
it was like you were kind of like, I know you'll figure it out. So, but immediately it got me excited to play potentially the campaign with these guys. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Online.
Is that Astral Chain I see you looking at?
I was going to bring this up, but I realized how long the show was running, so I might just save that little nugget for next week.
Okay.
Sneak.
Because I know Matt brought up something really interesting, unless did you have something to say about Halo?
No, I thought he said to play the campaign with, but did you mean multiplayer?
Both.
Oh, because you can multiplayer campaign online with 3 players, or is it just 2?
No, you can do up to 4.
With the campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always do 4.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How fun would that be?
For which game?
And we
There
could
was an achievement for Halo 3 where at the end, if you had 4 people take the 4 ghosts instead of... I think it had to be on Heroic or Legendary. I got the achievement.
Holy crap.
I got all the achievements for Halo 3. It was my only game for 8 months. I got all of those achievements. Basically, you play the game right at the end, the last mission. I think you had to beat it on Legendary with 3 other people. So you had to have a 4-man group. But at the end, instead of driving through that exploding whatever with the Warthog, you had to take 4 ghosts instead.
Oh my God.
Only one of you needed to make it to the end, though.
I think I helped you.
Yeah,
I think I helped you.
It was you, me, Andy, and our friend Jeff, maybe?
Yeah. And I forget who was the one that, like, I always was, like, in the back of the pack, like, I'm not gonna make it. It was like, yeah, we didn't think so, Dan. Like, just bouncing around with the ghost.
But yeah, you can play the campaigns 4-player. Cool. So yeah, there was something I was going to bring up, but I'll save it for next week because it's not even like that important. It was just something like that was randomly on my mind. But Matt brought up something that I thought was very interesting today.
Yeah, I did.
Do you even know what it is?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I was excited. I was on board when you said it.
Developers have not gotten the Xbox dev kits yet for the new Xbox.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
That's
There's been rumors.
Alarming.
Oh, I thought that was fake. I thought that news was fake because I saw like a Sony pony that they call them with. You never heard that?
Is that like a
that's like
Trojan horse?
No, it's like
something?
someone that's like a Sony fan, like they only like Sony. Anyway, I'm sorry.
What are the are they called X Boneheads? Please tell me that's what the Xbox version is.
I don't know.
The X Bronies.
Oh my
God. I don't know.
Sony Pony just sounds dumb.
I was going to say, scroll down the comment section of any like PlayStation exclusive Sony Pony. Anyway, point was
I don't read comments for anything.
There was one guy who he was defending like Death Stranding to like the death, and he was just like, it's unfair. This game's getting bad reviews. It's like, it's just not for everyone. Understand that. Matt did not like it as much as I do. I understand why. Deal with it. Like, that's the problem. But he posted something, and because he was like over the top protecting like Death Stranding and over the top saying that PlayStation 5 was like way better than the next Xbox, I was like, all right, this guy is like typically like very, hard.
How can we even judge that yet?
Well, that's why I didn't take him seriously when I scrolled through and saw like he was like, oh, Xbox people, they're way behind. They haven't even got their developer kits. I'm like, oh, that's probably just junk. So I didn't know it was actually real.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't confirm it 100%, but that's like there's a few YouTubers that follow video games like as kind of their main job who have a little bit more of a pulse and have inside
so they're not just
information
doing it on the side like we do.
Yes, they have a little more actual knowledge.
I have a pulse.
I mean, it's not that they know more than us, but they have more like they talk to people that work at these companies, and it seems like. And it's something that you can kind of notice. Like we've seen multiple pictures of these PS5 dev kits for months. We've seen just recently like a controller picture got leaked too. I have not seen any sort of leak from the Scarlet like dev kit because apparently a lot of these companies don't have them, which is going to make it hard to get games. Like specifically, you're talking about like the launch window, like Halo. I mean, I'm sure Halo will come out on the launch, but like, are there other games that are going to be postponed? Is it going to be one of the things? Because usually when a system comes out, there's like, okay, if you want the good version, you buy an Xbox 360. If you want the less good version, you play the PS3. And like, I feel like it was the reverse. If you want the good version, you play the PS4. There's just like always one that the companies are kind of developing these systems for, and then they kind of port it to the other system. And it just makes me wonder if like the Xbox One is going to be kind of the secondary system where they're not going to be as many, like the companies that are making games multi-platform aren't going to be making them there's maybe little issues on the other one, on the Xbox version.
I don't know how,
or if some of the games are going to get pushed back, or if they can even make the launch of whatever, November.
Yeah, I don't know how real this is, but this video is titled "Microsoft Trying to Surprise Sony with Xbox Scarlet's Power. Dev kits are rare, nowhere near final." So I don't know if that's just... There's another thing. What's Project Scarlet sibling console Lockhart still in development? What the hell's Lockhart?
I don't know what that is, but I have heard like people in response to this kind of rumor, people have like what we were saying, that Xbox wants to kind of like catch them off guard, because if they don't release any of this information, it doesn't look leaked to Sony, then Sony will be caught off guard, and maybe their system will be a lot better or more powerful than the PS5 for at the same cost or something, which would be kind of cool.
It looks like Lockhart is launching alongside Scarlet as the more affordable model.
Yeah. There's been
I didn't know there
about
was
that too,
two
like
models. Oh, there normally is, isn't there?
No.
No.
Not on launch day.
No. Think about this. Launch day for the Wii U, there was the Wii U, and then there was the one with like the bigger hard drive.
Yeah, there's like the 4 gig and the 32
Yeah, isn't there
gig
normally two systems launching at the same time?
Just
one
for
of
that
them...
Nintendo one, usually there isn't. Like the Xbox One just had that like $500.
Well, the Xbox
with the
Kinect.
The PS3 had two launch on the same day.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, there was one with like a larger hard drive.
I didn't
there?
get a PS3, so I'm not sure. You
No,
might be right on that.
It's just the 20 gig. Then they went to the 40.
I mean,
then
the PS5 just had the one SKU on launch day.
I'm pretty sure the Xbox 360 had the regular and then the black one on launch, right?
That's the Elite.
No, I think you're right that you could buy one without a hard drive. You could buy one with like a 20
360 arcade.
No, that was the
360. Yeah.
That was the 360, but that was not the initial launch of the system. Are we just talking about the initial launch of the system?
Launch day.
No, I feel like the Wii was like one color.
This is coming from someone who's never bought in a console launch day until the Switch came out, so this is just on like vague remembrance.
Yeah, the Switch was one. The Wii was one color. Like the black one came out later, because I remember.
I'm not really talking about colors, but like specific like difference where they would have a different price.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking like usually they make the other one like a different color. Like the Wii and the Wii U, they made that one had multiple at the same time.
Yes,
the Wii U, because that was the black one with the bigger hard drive and the game that came with it. That was different. I remember that came out immediately, like the same time. But PlayStation 3, nope, had the same thing. Xbox 360, it was just the one model.
Yeah, it is just surprising that these systems are going to come out presumably in November of next year, and we still know we're starting to learn a lot more about the PlayStation every month, but we really haven't learned anything about the Xbox. Like they had that little at E3, that little presentation of the Scarlet, but they didn't really say anything other than it's going to have like a solid state hard drive, which this PlayStation does. Like there's still so much.
Well, maybe they're holding in it. Maybe this could be good. I mean, I want competition to be good. And I mean, it sounds like from all the freaking, small developers that Microsoft has purchased, that they're realized that exclusives mean a lot.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
To a generation.
Like it doesn't matter which system is better in quotes. It matters which system has better games.
Yeah, and I mean, hands down,
Sony's going to have good games, so Xbox is going to have to come up with something.
I mean, for
new IPs.
Yeah, and for anybody that especially this Black Friday was like, I just kind of got a PlayStation. Is there anything? There was a whole like thing on GameStop, and it was the list of like greatest hits, and they were all $10. It was Bloodborne, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted Lost Odyssey, Uncharted like the trilogy. It was all the whole list that spanned the whole bottom of the whole pamphlet of all these great games that came out that were exclusive to PlayStation for $10.
November of 2006, they had a 20 gig and a 60 gig PS3 launch at the same time.
Oh. Okay.
And then they had in March of 2007, they had a different 60 gig one.
Yes, that was one of them was backwards compatible. I believe.
Yeah, they went through a lot.
The first one wasn't backwards compatible.
No, that was the big problem that they had.
The PS3.
Then they did the backwards compatible one.
I thought they went the other way around, where they took it out. They started with it, but then they took it out. I didn't realize that they.
Was it the day one then? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
I don't know. I thought so.
Because I know they started to make the 60 gig, and people were
I was
happy.
pretty sure there was 2 models at launch. Now I don't know about the 360 though.
Because I thought it was all just $599.99, and people were like, "What the?" hell?
I think there was a $699.
Yeah, it goes back and forth.
Jesus.
But yeah.
Christ.
So anyway. So Microsoft, it looks like they're going to be launching with 2 models. I don't know how different they're going to be. If one's going to be just a lower hard drive space, or if they're trying to go with the
Connect 2 and no Connect,
or rather than do like what Matt hates, which is the mid-season model, just do like a super duper one right up front, and let people decide which one they want. It just seems weird to me. I've never seen a launch console have 2 separate nicknames. Usually it's just one nickname and then they have 2 versions of that console. So that is a little weird.
I hope that doesn't hurt their sales. I want them to be relevant. This generation has really shown what domination looks like in a one-sided fight. I mean, at least with the PlayStation 3, yeah, it was a one-sided fight for a while, but then they started coming out with a lot of good exclusives, and I mean, it really shows that exclusives reign king for, even if they don't play, they don't look the best, but God of War is advertised and splashed everywhere for PlayStation, and I mean, I'm just listening to people like, oh my God, God of War is $10, like, holy crap, like, I'm tempted to buy this even though I already have it, like, I heard people talking, and I never saw like, Gears of War, 4 is $10. Like, it was just
and the 2-tier system could kind of hurt also with just like communicating the messaging about how they're getting this into people's hands and getting like there's parents buying systems for their kid and they're like, this one's $700.
Santa brought me the wrong one.
This one's $700. I don't want to get this. I want to buy the PS5. That's just the one $500 console. It's much less expensive, but they might not know that there's a $500 Xbox Next or whatever it's going to be called too. So like with that 2-tiered system, it's the messaging, and it's like you kind of get in the position yourself where you're like, well, I don't want to buy the lesser of the 2.
Yep.
So then you're like, all right, so I got to pay an extra $100 or $150 for this, the true Xbox Next system. So I think it's kind of dangerous there to kind of split the user base. I mean, typically in the past it's only been small things like an extra game or hard drive space or something, but
maybe a special edition Halo.
If it's different beyond that. Like if there's specific, like that would be crazy. I can't imagine they would even do that now that I'm thinking about it and talking out loud, just like splitting the player base on day one.
So I'm sure it's just something as simple like both the 360 and the Xbox One had 2 versions at launch. The 360 had the core, which that was the one that was basically the Xbox Arcade. It didn't really have a hard drive or anything like that. And then there was the 60 gigabyte hard drive Xbox that was like the premium or the pro. The Xbox One had 2 versions at launch, one without the Kinect, one with the Kinect.
No. At launch, they always had the Kinect. Yeah, always, because there was so much backlash.
I was reading that, and I'm like, I swear to God, you had to have the Kinect.
There was a lot of backlash for it. I remember that.
Maybe they just meant eventually it didn't have the Kinect.
Yes, eventually it dropped because so many people were like, I'm not paying that for that system.
So I'm pretty sure that was like a big deal. Was that every single Xbox One had the Kinect just in it, right?
Yes. The very first ones, yep. Then they took it away, and now the Xbox One X doesn't even support it. That was another reason.
Xbox One X doesn't support the Kinect?
Not without some sort of adapter.
What about the S?
I can't say for sure. I want to say yes.
It must.
It might, but anyway. So that was one of the reasons why I bought the $100 one for Black Friday, because I was like, I can leave it upstairs and we can do voice command certain games, yay, and also voice command the entire television, yay.
They're barely gonna use that, I bet, though. Trying to find.
I'll barely use it, but my wife will get use out of it.
Anything else you guys want to talk about today?
No, I'm good.
Saturday.
I'm all set.
It's definitely not Wednesday. It's Saturday.
Yep.
We're not recording this 4 days early.
Are we lying to the audience again? Are we doing that again?
Yeah. Well, because I didn't have enough time / I forgot about.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I heard, while we were playing Call of Duty, I almost said Call of Duty, like, oh yeah, Dan, sorry, I forgot to do the podcast podcast, and
Yeah,
I was like,
I was absent from the Thanksgiving week podcast, and I just, it slipped my mind that I had to produce it, so I'm producing that for Wednesday, and then this episode is going to air on Sunday, and then we'll be back to our regular Wednesday schedule until we deal with this a few weeks from now, because Christmas is on a Wednesday. So,
well, yeah, we'll figure that.
Hooray.
out. Is anyone leaving? The
No,
state?
I'm
no. All right,
here.
we're good. We're good.
You
No, happily, I'm not going to New York.
for
good.
you're not going to New York for Hanukkah?
No, not for Hanukkah.
Okay.
I'm sitting at home on my ass.
Anything else you guys want to? Anything else you guys want to bring to the table? Or
Nope.
Things we didn't get to talk about that you want to bring up?
No.
I'm gonna try and convince these guys to play Halo multiplayer later tonight.
What do you mean?
Not these
Convince
guys.
me.
Mostly Matt.
What do you
I'm
mean?
not playing tonight.
You're playing tonight.
No, I'm playing FF13.
Oh my god, Andy! I will pay you to break those discs, and then I will give them to you because I have a copy of a few of them.
And with that, this is the Trophy Hunter, the Dan, and the Bargain Bin Gamer.
The Collector.
Yeah, that one. Logging off.
Bye, everyone. Sorry.
What are you apologizing for?